The most glorious day of the week is upon us. It is Gladiator Wednesday. The accounts are flush with the rake back. Hopefully, you guys got to that gold tier, got that 75%, and you got yourself some buy ins tonight because we're going to find a way to allocate them. We got a 9-game hoops contest tonight. We got 2-game puck, all sorts of stuff going on with playoff NBA or playoff NFL as well. But we got to start here, Nez. We got to start with NBA from last night, my friend. We have never seen anything of the like. A 27 person team dupe train.
How about it? That was insane. That was actually insane. That's the first time, like you said, I've ever seen anything close to what took place there. I was close, I was like, I think a lot of people were close. That'll happen when 27 people dupe, but that's crazy, man. So I guess John Boy is going to have to decide, do all those people make the sheet? If 27 people tie, it's supposed to be just top 20.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I don't know I don't know what you do with the sheet in that instance. I guess it's a first place finish. Like that's a first, right?
Yeah. The points, you don't get points for place finishing. Thankfully, it's all about like how much that won you. But yeah, I'm guessing they would all be on there. But wow, that was crazy. Which is just that's the way it goes when you have a nice, fun 3-game slate, 4-person drafts. It was bound to happen at some point, and I'm sure Neumy was just like thrilled that he did such a good job moderating the fair combos that it ended up with a 27-person first.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like he's just applauding himself. Wow, we were so well vetted that there were no GMs out there. Wow, way to go. This is funny though. Lots of goat horns getting given out. I don't know what's less or more stolen valor: getting your goat horns in a 28-way dupe or 27-way dupe, or getting your goat horns in the cash game streets in a double up, like the double doink at like Paul did. Well, which of those two is less?
I salute the double doink first place. That's tough. That is, I don't care. That's hard.
Oh man. Yeah, GA alluding to the fact that, I'm a puck guy. Back to my roots there last night. I saw that 25 tile move to the front there. Had to give it a click. The real puck guys knew Ottawa was going to go off last night, and that the whole Washington stuff was a fugazi. The real stick on the ice guys. I actually forgot I entered, and then I was checking my NBA to see if I was part of the dupe, and obviously I wasn't, because I did 120 last night, Nez.
Wow.
Yeah, most I'd done in a long time. Really liked the slate. Thought there were some good edges, and of my 120, how many Grayson Allen shares did I have?
One.
I had one. If Grayson Allen's the guy. If Grayson Allen's the guy you need, it's it was my best lineup. But Grayson Allen was the guy you need. I was not going to be getting there, and he was the guy you needed.
I didn't even have a lot. I ended up breaking even last night, and I played a lot of entries. I love those small slates. They're just a lot of fun to think through. And I even told you, we were chatting about the slate, and you're like, who's someone undrafted that you might need? And I told you, I was like, old Grayson. Grayson, and I hate when I don't follow up on my own advice. Pisses me off.
I was taking Kelly Oubre. I thought Kelly Oubre was in a good spot when they ruled other guys out and whatnot. Knew he was going to be starting, knew whatever. I was heavy on the Kelly Oubre stuff comparatively, and that game went nuke in the first half, and then it just fell off a cliff in the second half. There,
weird.
Watched a bit of that. GMs to everyone coming in here. Oh, Neumy teasing one dinger. Ooh. I'm getting ready, Nez. I did a baseball draft last night. Tell the people what you did.
Yeah, I hopped on our boys stacking dingers, me, sheep, and baseball, aka Chris, as we all know him, freaking the sheets. We went over their exposures so far, and I was able to kind of pick their brains because I only have like 20 drafts done. So I was able to like pick their brains on certain positions, guys they're high on, guys they're low on, guys they think that, how they'll address the dinger whenever it's a clean slate. So that was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't checked that out yet and you want some baseball content for the upcoming Dinger season, definitely check out stackingdingers.com. Very easy and a lot of good written content from our boys over there. Brendan Tuma, if you're familiar with him, you should be. If not, really great stuff from him on that Substack as well. So definitely check it out if you're trying to play some baseball for this upcoming season, which you definitely should.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, little birdie suggesting that maybe when this one fills, when Dinger, maybe, I don't know, that's how I'm reading it in the chat right now.
It's just a domino.
Yeah, we got to knock this one off and maybe the big Dinger comes after that. One thing I wanted to hit on here right off the jump, let me, I got the dupe train pulled up for everybody. Yeah, this was the winning lineup in which you needed last night. Actually, one thing I wanted to just say on the dupe train and something like that is, man, gives credence to the scroll the F down, even in the 4 or 3 game slate, 4-person lobbies, right? Because like if you put together a 310 and you got this lineup and whatever, I mean, just look at your ROI compared to, hitting the actual 7K in first, right? Everybody gets like $800, right? So just credence to, if you're playing low volume in these contests, to get a little goofy with that back end, because, you want to give yourself a path to first, because this effectively lined up not perfectly with ADP because you kind of needed Fox to fall, but all the models were pushing Fox down and pushing Kawhi up. So like this was a readily obtainable combo, though it was a tinge on the rarer side. It just shows you what happens when ADP kind of like lines up perfectly and why we need to flip the board or stray or whatever.
Yeah. Grayson was definitely like qualified as a scroll down piece. I mean, he was not drafted 100% of the time. Like you said, you only got to him once in your 100 drafts, and that's not just because it was a fade. It's also because it was, a scroll down. You really had to search for him.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say about that though is when people were comfortable to take him was when they were like 1v3ing it from the 24 hole. Right? Because that's where you're seeing all his ownership consolidate around, and why all these lineups are the same is because Grayson's left at the end of the board with the 1v3, and nobody was kind of like pushing Grayson up to like 20 or 21 or whatever, right?
Yeah, I guess my thought on that is like I don't want to be too results focused. Like I'm never going to you can't know Grayson Allen's going to put up 54 fantasy points. Like you're just never gonna know that. And Jalen Williams and Tobias Harris were such obvious like better plays. Not that they ended up being better plays, but they were very projectable plays that you just simply like had to do. Like there's just like rules that you follow in these drafts, and it's just like I'm not giving up projected points in this contest because there's only 4 of us drafting, and I don't want to give up a super team, and I want to play smart. And it's just like a code that exists in these lobbies. I mean, it's kind of interesting the way these lobbies kind of govern themselves.
Yeah, very much so. Anyways, not much more to say on that one last night, but I find this one very fun here. If you guys fired up your app this morning, this was probably the first thing in which you saw is we got some injury coverage coming for the pick'em stuff, which I think is very smart. I mean, people get, pretty upset when they got, 4 legs or 3 legs or 3, picks right in a row, and then they get wamboozled by the fact that a player plays a couple snaps in the first half of a game and then doesn't come back in the second. So just to explain this, you have to get X amount of your first entries correct, like your first picks in this. So if this was you put 3 props on the same one here, you have to get those first 2 correct. And then if this happens to occur, a player, plays a bit in the first half, gets hurt, doesn't come back for the second half in both NFL or NBA, well, then that will be then voided, given back to you. You'll be refunded that. And then you'll be given a special going forward for, I guess, probably the next slate, but it doesn't specify which slate it will be.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Mhm.
We see a lot of their competitors do this with their pick'em games as well. And Underdog traditionally has not given any sort of refunds to pick'em entries that lose due to injury. So I like that this is very clearly laid out. Maybe could be like a little bit better to say it has to be the only one, but I mean this does the trick.
Yeah.
Where and it's explicitly saying, hey, in the first half, if your player gets hurt, like we will not only refund you, which is what their competitors do, but we'll also give you a special, which I think is really dope and something that I would really like to see them, continue to do moving forward. I get that it can't be an everyday thing, but this is a really good offering from them. So salute to the good people for doing this special. This is dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it just makes you feel like, hey man, I got 3 right and now I'm dead in the water because so and so, sprained his ankle in the first quarter. It's like, oh man. So this is pretty legit. Um you want to start with hoops today?
Yeah, hoops is a pretty interesting place to start for sure
Okay.
with the postponement of this Jazz
Mhm.
Warriors game.
Yeah, 2 postponements today, both that Jazz Warriors game and then the Buffalo game in the Puck Streets as well. So that 3-game slate became a 2-game slate, and the TNT national televised game of that has moved to Florida. So, I got to keep my Puck guys informed here, Nez, as well.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, you're a puck guy now, so you gotta cater to him.
yeah, so as people can obviously see, we're not doing our normal BR primer today. We're gonna do off and on the clock tomorrow, and it felt redundant to mix those two together. So we're gonna simulcast off and on the clock tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern. So that's where the definitive divisional round stuff will be. So we'll do hoops today, and we'll do hoops, then we'll do a playoff contest, and then we'll see how the mood is, Nez, because I'm looking outside my window here, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't have anywhere to go. This is this city is shutting down with how much snow is out there right now.
Yeah, you and I both live in some might call it soft. I think I call it smart cities where if it snows or it's really cold outside, our
Yeah.
city's just like, you know what? Like we're calling today off. And I kind
Right.
of love it. It's kind of awesome. So, yeah, I do have a rare heart out. A rare heart out. I know not typical for your boy. So by all means, man, let the runtime go. Don't let me stop you. Get in here. If like maybe we get a topic comes up, you got some musings on the mind. Like I know the people would love to hear it.
All right, all right. We'll see how we do here. Yeah, yeah. This is it.
Well,
Power grid shuts down.
a lot of people have to run the heat, man. It's
Yeah.
just a lot going on.
That's good. And I can't even get out on the ODR today, bud, because I would have to shovel it all. I ain't
That's a
about
shame.
that.
That's a shame.
All right, 9-gamer now, as you alluded to, that Warriors and Jazz game is off the table, which is clearly unfortunate for our boy Yeti here, who was going to go to that ball game. But yeah, where are we starting here? There's a glooming Q tag at the top of the slate there in the Luca one. Though I will say that is nationally televised game. Just saying, Lakers nationally televised feels kind of like I lean in the direction of Luca playing that. Though the Q tag is legit. He did sustain an injury last game, 2 games ago. He sat one,
He sat 2 games now.
sat 2 games
So
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it might have actually been more than that. I do believe it's 2 games, but no, it is legitimate. But
Mhm.
it looks like three. The last 3 games he sat. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Q tag's legitimate. However, if Luca is in the contest and he's being drafted as though he's in, even though it's not guaranteed, he's being drafted as if he's playing, and you can get him at an absurd clip, like I don't know how I'm taking him third like every single
Right.
time, and
Yep.
and I'll be more than pleased if I end up with 32% Luca at a expected clip with
Yeah.
that.
Any fear that we get a similar to SGA situation from last night where I basically did exactly that with SGA. And I did some hand build ones where I would kind of purposely try and let him fall around the corner. So I got, him plus Sabonis, or I got him plus Embiid in one instance. I was trying to kind of like manipulate the way in which I could get SGA exposure, but also trying to get as much as I could. And then what happens is he plays basically half of a game, plays like 29 minutes, give the bench extended run, blah, blah, blah. Is there any fear in your mind that could happen with Luka tonight, or if he's in, it's full go?
I think if he's in, it's full go.
Okay.
Just because, like you mentioned, it's a national TV game, and I'm just, I don't see Jason Kidd as, I mean, when like look at the Kyrie Irving injury. Kyrie Irving had a bum foot, was out for like weeks, and then comes back with like no men's restriction at all. Jason Kidd just doesn't really give a shit for better or worse. So not really worried about that. But the teams that could exist out there, yeah, that does kind of live rent free in my head. But I haven't done any manual drafting yet for the Hump Day hoops. But for my side contests, I'll definitely be manually drafting. And I don't know that I'm gonna push the Luka stuff, but if I see a bunch, or like if I see some no badge people behind me, and I'm at like pick 4, maybe I offer Wemby and I see if I can get Luka to come back around or something. Okay. Just to test it, but more likely than not, man, I'm just gonna bite the bullet.
Okay, so if you're in on Luka right now, does that mean you're fading Kyrie and other pieces of Dallas?
I am. Yes, I am, but we got breaking news.
Okay.
Pascal Siakam to the Pacers is official.
Oh man, that's crazy because that was one of my little leverage spots to get up on Scotty today.
Dude,
I was ready to talk that one up because there was rumors of it. Shams said, I guess yesterday, it was like, maybe like 15, 20 hours ago or something like that he was going to go. I mean, I think we all kind of thought Pascal was going to get traded, but then it kind of threw a wrench in things when they made the deal for Quickly, when they made the RJ Barrett and Quickly deal, it was kind of like, well, they're not going to trade Siakam now. Like that, before that, it was kind of like inevitable in my mind that he was going to go, I thought, to Denver. But yeah, very interesting. What's your knee-jerk reaction to that?
My knee-jerk reaction is the Raptors are about to be like awesome for fantasy.
Okay.
I think they're going to end up going. I think they're going to end up like, unless Pirtle's on the floor, like they're going to end up playing really small and probably really fast. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, they'll have to be without Pirtle. I mean, it'll be pretty boring. It'll be pretty boring for like a couple weeks here if they're running like Busher and Thad Young at the 5.
Well, they're getting Bruce Brown in return. He's like a 4, right?
Yeah, he's a 4. Yeah. I mean, they're basically flipping 4s and then getting picks, I imagine. Is that what they're doing?
They are. I think they are getting. What was rumored was 3 firsts. I don't know the return yet.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fair. I mean that sounds fair. That's probably what Siakam's worth.
Man, I love it for the Pacers. From like their perspective, I don't love it for Pacers fantasy. Like, I mean, I don't think their philosophy is going to change necessarily. Like I think they're still going to play fast as hell. That's just like what they're going to do. But I don't think that this moves like Siakam already was not like a super awesome piece for us in our fantasy games. And yeah, he's in a faster environment now. I still don't think it moves the needle a ton for him for us in these games. Do you think I'm like wrong on that, or?
I don't know. Kind of, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I
guess it almost has to be some kind of boost, but
yeah, and like Siakam's like a decent ball handler. Like, I don't know. I think like Miles Turner obviously probably takes a little bit of a hit here because all of like the stretch shit that he does, like kind of Siakam does slightly better. That's kind of like my knee jerk there. But I don't know. Like, do you make this deal if you don't think Hallie's coming back soon? Like they're obviously like going for this in some regard, right? Like Hallie has to be coming back.
I think they think he's coming back soon. They said they made it seem like that injury was not as severe as they initially as it looked. So definitely, I think both. I think that's definitely like what they're signaling. And I don't know if that's like, I don't think of them as a championship caliber team by any means.
Right.
This.
Yeah, me neither, but it makes them interesting, I guess. I don't know. I think they think they're closer than they actually are because they beat the Bucks a handful of times and they made it to the in-season tournament when some teams were competing and some teams weren't. You know, like I think their mentality is like we're closer than everyone else thinks we are, but I don't think the Pacers are as close as they think they are. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make sense.
Okay, well, yeah. What do you think that does for the Raptors today then? Like, does Scotty become like really nice, like IQ, RJ, like those become like really nice back end pieces? I mean, they're getting a almost full strength Heat squad. And we've talked about how that's like, you know, the Heat had been bad for a minute and a team to attack. Now, when you get everybody back, they kind of play slow. They play good defense now that they're like the actual team.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I had a Coke Zero, which like I love Coke Zero. I'm just a Coke Zero fiend. But I'm out here gassy. I'm wasting my airtime trying to get these burps out on mute. I don't want to double count like and it's not double counting because there's no adjustment yet, but I don't want to bump them up too much, I guess is what I'm trying to say, not to just use the double count buzzword. I don't want to bump them up too much, but it definitely, I think, bodes well. Like maybe give Scotty like one extra ADP bump, and now you can mix in IQ and Barrett a lot more frequently in the sixth than we were in the past, or earlier today. And I guess I don't want to bump Bam too much, but I definitely. But who, are you taking Bam over anybody ahead of him now with this? Maybe Trae Young, but that feels.
Yeah, I'd push Bam. I'd push Bam up to like basically the LeBron stuff. I put Tatum on the cover because I thought all those Boston guys were going to get ruled out midday, and it would just be the Jays playing tonight, and they'd be like 16-point favorites, and they fill it up. So I don't think I'd put him over Tatum, but I could see myself putting him over like Kyrie. I don't think Wemby belongs where he is there tonight either. Like you could get a nice matchup if Zinger's off the floor and he's getting like, you know, the corpse Al Horford on one end over and over again. But I just, Wemby still got the minute restriction, blah, blah, blah. I could see myself putting Bam at like 6. You know, bigs are going to cook this team. You know, like Porter, Young, and Boucher. Like, okay, yeah, give me Bam all day.
Over LeBron?
Probably not LeBron. No.
I won't have him over LeBron, but I do think you can get away with it sometimes because people just like think that this LeBron Q tag is real sometimes. And you know, it depends on the room that you're in, I guess.
The models will. The models love Bam in general, and now they see this and they're gonna push up Bam.
But they love LeBron too, though.
Oh no, I'm not saying over LeBron. I'm not saying 1v1. I'm just saying in a vacuum they're gonna push up Bam.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting here that everyone in the chat saying you don't give up 3 firsts unless they plan to re-sign. And Team Hold, Mike Zakarian obviously got some inside knowledge here, suggesting that he's been pretty loud about saying he wouldn't guarantee a re-signing. So that's interesting that they get a trade done. You know, he's expiring deal, give up 3 firsts. That's a lot to give up for a dude that's a half a year rental if you're not getting a re-sign.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I know that like, you know, the team that can re-sign kind of has the upper hand in these negotiations based on where other teams can because of what they can offer.
Because what you can offer, yeah.
So, you know, money talks. I think it's basically like, you know, he's saying that because he wants the Supermax or whatever the fuck he can get. So, I mean, it's just posturing.
I'm going to say how long ago was that breaking news?
10 minutes ago, not even 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so a unnamed source on my side here updated their projections 54 minutes ago, which was pre that news, and they already had Bam at 5. right behind LeBron, and that's pre Siakam trade news. Now, whether they knew it beforehand, and no, Siakam's still in their ranks. So I mean, the model's already the robots already loved Bam.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what ETR does because they kind of have what I had, which was like Paolo way up. So I wonder if he jumps Paolo.
Yeah, that's why I put Paolo on the cover. I thought Paolo was the guy today. Like, no Franz. We're just getting that, that smash spot against Atlanta.
Yeah, I've got like 50% so far in like my 30 something drafts. Yeah, he's just a stupid smash. I can't believe that he is where he is right now. But hey, thank God for recency bias. I mean, dude just played the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's playing the Hawks, guys. This is different, but you know what?
Yeah.
Let's not speak too loud. Let's just enjoy this 11.9 ADP we're getting.
Yeah, no, very much so there. Capella will be back tonight, though. No, I mean, sure. I wanted to ask about a couple other ones that I'm struggling with right now. We got the Anthony Edwards Q tag, which would, in theory, I mean, they're big favorites at Detroit. Detroit's got some moving pieces. They just made a trade. I think both of them are going to play tonight. Gallinari's, they just announced, right? They did say this?
I honestly did not see.
Okay. Maybe.
Sorry.
I'll do better. I do want to confirm.
You're talking Detroit injury report?
Yeah.
And you're looking for Bojan?
I was looking for... Yeah. Gallinari and Muscala listed available tonight. So they're going to be... Yeah, because they're going to be a part of that rotation because they made that mid trade with the Wizards 2 days ago. So that was like just a thing on my radar to just say like, hey man, like this is a gross game to get to, and we're probably not going to get to those pieces. But like the pieces that we would be getting to are even more like muddled now. So I'm just kind of like T-Wolves or bust in this spot because I really don't know what they're going to do rotation wise tonight because we just like haven't seen it. Anyways, the spot obviously looks good for Ant, Gobert, and Cat. Anything you're getting active to there or getting above the field on there?
No, not really like above the field in this range, really, but I think taking Ant at ADP is probably a good move against this Detroit Pistons team, which is clearly just not very good. So definitely like him. I think I'll put Scotty Barnes over Jared Allen and maybe actually over Anthony Edwards now with this Siakam news. But otherwise, I'm kind of like trying to just be flat in this little section here.
Okay, so you're not trying to get like way up on Cat in the anticipation that like Edwards sits or anything like that.
No, the only reason I'm not is because I don't think he's going to see a huge jump if we get Ant out. Like he might just slot in right behind Lillard.
Yeah, like 4 or 5% usage. Actually, the one we didn't talk about off the top here is like Donovan Mitchell's going to be like the faller due to like the Luka stuff, but like the flow chart is going to love Donovan Mitchell tonight in general. Right. So it's kind of like a scary proposition to be getting overweight Luka, but then in turn, in doing so, you're kind of fading potentially AD and Donovan Mitchell there. Does that worry you at all?
Yeah. For sure. The flow chart is screaming like Donovan Mitchell night without all his other teammates essentially against Milwaukee. Yeah, it does. It does scare me. But what if Milwaukee just kicks the living shit out of the Cavs and then it's not a problem?
Yeah, no, definitely. And then when you look at like spreads and totals and stuff like that, that does seem very likely in the range of possibilities. But then I was when you look at totals, it would suggest that in general. I was thinking it would suggest that in general. And then I was surprised to find out Milwaukee was only 4-point favorites. And then I was kind of like, whoa, what am I missing here?
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, that's something. So I mean, who knows how long I'm going to carry on this charade of Luca 3, but it just feels like something that I should be doing. It just feels like what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm meant to do this. Uh, I will just say, like when I was talking about the cat bump, I know cat will like eat some usage, like that's good. I just meant like as far as like underdog goes, the ADP goes, I don't think he's going to see a jump in that respect.
Okay, sounds good to me. I think Lamelo, although I love him and he's like fun to click and whatever, I think he's probably the most mispriced player at the top end of the slate right now. Still gonna have the minutes restriction as of right now. We could get some news later in the day that's gonna get lifting that, but I see no reason to. They're big road dogs. He's had this chronic ankle stuff for going on 2 seasons now. I think he legit needs change of scenery. I think he could be a trade candidate. I don't know. Do you trade face of the franchise at this point in time? Whatever. That's completely different discussion. But I don't know. His last 2 games, like the box scores are going to look nice, but he's a monster in terms of fantasy point per minute. But he's really propped up by the steals right now, which is something that he does well. But he's been really propped up the last couple days. Here, do you think there's any path to him playing 35, 36 and outperforming his ADP?
I kind of do.
Okay.
This game total wise is only 229, and yeah, they are 11.5 point dogs, but I kind of, for whatever reason, I see the Pelicans as like if I was to wager, I would think this game goes over its total. So I kind of like targeting Pelicans and Lamelo. I have confidence in him delivering at that ADP. Now I will probably go back and forth between him and Şengün at that range, but he just played 30 minutes last game. Against Miami. So I think that his ADP is appropriate personally.
Okay. Not that he needs any excuse for a greater usage bump when he's out on the floor because
Yeah.
he's just that guy. But Hayward's out. Bruce McGowan's, Brandon Miller, both questionable as well. I don't know if you just slowly run out of bodies. That's another way to alleviate a minutes restriction in a heartbeat, right?
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling here unless there's anybody else you want to discuss in this range and stuff. Şengün's popping in the models as he always tends to do. That offense runs through him, but I think that game could be slow, especially if there's no Brunson in that one. And I just don't love playing centers against the Knicks, just in general. But yeah,
this game's gonna tilt my face off. I already know, man. Like I don't like playing teams against the Rockets, and I don't really like playing teams against the Knicks. And this just screams like Van Fleet 50. Just like the most unassuming spot. Van Fleet 50, Brunson 50, Randall 50, Şengün 50, and it's just going to be the most annoying shit ever because like these teams on paper are scary, and I don't like clicking the names whenever they are their opponents. But I'm going to try to be like at the field on these pieces because they are studs and they play a lot of minutes and they get a lot of usage, but it certainly feels terrible.
Yeah, I'm fully in lockstep there. Couldn't have said it better myself. Where are you comfortable taking Brunson? Because I've seen him fall to the 5th round a couple times thus far. Where are you comfortable clicking his name?
I have him actually like decently high. I have him like above Zion and behind Jaylen Brown. So just because the guys behind him, like this is a big slate, but there is a pretty stark drop like after Zion, in my opinion.
Okay.
Where
it's weird it's weird that this is a 9-game slate, and for whatever reason, like the late rounds feel equally as thin as they did yesterday.
Yeah, it's very weird, isn't it? Like I don't know if it's just the teams that we have, and it's just the rotations are just it's just the way that things are shaking out. But yeah, no, it's very weird that things do feel thin. I have 38 players right now in my player pool.
Yeah. I mean, there's no screaming like 1-for-1 replacement value spots. Even if you want to play like some leverage Q tag game, like all those guys are still in the upper echelon of being drafted. And nobody's really looking to get, smashing like McBride or something because Brunson's out.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just one of those ones. Our resident Knicks expert, Nick, here telling us that source, whom he deems a good source, is saying that Brunson is in tonight. So love to hear that. Maybe a little bit of leverage there. I liked what you said about Jaylen Brown. I'm pushing him up. I think Zinger sits. I think one of Drew and Derek White sit this evening. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
That would like really change things up, because I don't think people are necessarily factoring that or thinking that at the moment. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I think some people are pushing him up a little bit. I've seen him go, in that 18 range opposed to 24. Geez. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, it's weird slate in general, Nez, because like obviously we're dealing with some of that stuff, but removing a game from the slate actually matters a lot, because there were 3 pieces going in every single draft from said game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now all of a sudden, like ADPs get more and more condensed. And then now you remove Pascal from this slate. Okay. Now there's 4 guys that are no longer on the slate that people were drafting. People were catching falling knives for the last, 8 hours of drafting window. And now people aren't anymore. Right.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Definitely changes things up for us in a pretty big way. I didn't have a lot of entries in when that news dropped, but hopefully I don't know how much it's gonna change the way that I play today, I guess, but things definitely have changed.
1 6th rounder that I was looking at a little bit here is Hartenstein, man. Like I've been renowned for not paying up for Hartenstein.
I know.
When he's at that 1-2 turn, fuck off. I'm not touching it. No way. You guys can chase those stocks, chase those empty boards, do what you want. Now that he's fallen in the 6th round, I'm looking at this like licking my lips like, oh, this is cheap Rudy Gobert available in the 6th round right now. Just one spot that I was low-key getting to. We'll talk about some others in a second, but what do you think about that one?
Definitely like one of my favorite 6th-round picks right now. So cool. Gonna have a lot of Hartenstein.
Like it. Are you on Team Zinger plays, because that would make him one of the most mispriced pieces on the slate?
Man, I have like no lean.
Okay.
On this, but he has been missing like quite a bit, and he's got an inflamed knee, and they are playing the Spurs. So I think if I had to make a guess, I would say he sits.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And no Zach Collins on the other side as well. And when Al Horford isn't listed and Zinger is, or vice versa, I lean the way in which one of them sits on a given night. I read the tea leaves in a situation like this, but you could twist my arm into getting over the field with a 6th round Q tag and then just swapping when we have news tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that works just as well.
Yeah, because it is like you definitely want some. It's kind of like Keegan Murray last night, where it's like I would definitely want some in the 6th round if he does play. I don't think he breaks the slate, but I definitely want some.
Yeah.
Other one I want to talk about is Portland. Portland had that game, 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago there, where they basically played with like a 7-man rotation, and Scoot was playing, point role there. If we get no Simons tonight, we could open up, a nice crazy role for Scoot again in this late round, but they're getting presumably getting Ayton and Grant back tonight as well. So things getting a little deeper. Maybe Brogdon, no Shaedon Sharpe though. Just, as a dart in the 6th round, I've been taking a little bit of Scoot. Do you have a lean between Simons and Scoot, or do you want neither?
Kind of neither.
Okay.
Yeah, that Scoot thing feels like a nice development, but not anything that is going to repeat itself anytime soon without the same circumstances lining up.
Okay, cool. Lakers changed their rotation up. They've gone back to what we saw in the playoffs of last year, and they're starting D'Lo and starting Reeves and playing them together a little bit. We've seen this from a couple games now. Basically, does that change your stance, especially with the looming LeBron Q, which I agree we both think is fake, and he plays a national TV game tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that interest you? I mean, assuming those factors, are you interested at all in Austin Reeves and or D'Lo in the last round?
I think I could mix them in for sure. They won't be a popular mix in of mine, but I'll definitely grab a couple here and there for sure. Um,
Okay.
yeah, against Dallas, that's a fun spot, I think.
That game's low-key sneaky in quotations, because it's the highest total game on the slate, and that's not what I would traditionally think with Dallas and the Lakers.
Dallas, yes. The Lakers, no. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's very shocking. I guess looking at the other games, I guess which is partly why the slate feels the way it does. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of not a lot of games in the 230s.
Mm-hmm. There's two. After you took that Warriors game off, it's 244 for Lakers Mavs and 238 for Celtics Spurs, but that's a 16-point spread. So that's leaning heavily in the Celtics direction. And then nobody else is touching the 30s. It's weird that the
Bucks and
Atlanta.
Cavs, but that's it.
Oh, where's Bucks and Cavs? I missed it. Oh, yeah, sorry.
236, yeah.
236.
Which we did talk
Yeah.
about just earlier on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, man. Like the Hawks one is giving me low key fits that they're not touching 230 versus the Hawks like that versus the Magic. Like that's just like hat tip to the Magic right now, I guess.
Yeah, the Magic are really banged up too. That spread is at only 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game could suck.
I was gonna suggest that in the 6th round, I kind of like Goga tonight. They originally, like when Wendell Carter Jr. came back, it was like, oh yeah, he's just gonna come in and eat some minutes and whatnot. Man, Goga might actually be good. Like Goga's like, if you look at some of the EPM stuff and whatnot, like Goga might be good and just be like flat better than Wendell Carter Jr. now. And like, I don't know, he's free in the last round, and we talk about Orlando we talk about centers versus Atlanta.
I rock with Goga. Goga's the man. This is definitely a sneaky one. No ADP on the guy either. So talk about leverage.
Yeah, it was my extreme gal scroll the F down one that I was thinking through this morning. Anyone else that you want to talk about in here?
I mean, the bad guy, Miles Bridges. Like I said, I just think that this Pelicans team is like, I know the total is what it is, but my IKB tells me that Charlotte can actually make this a closer game than the spread would indicate. So I think he, as a scroll down option, is viable. And our Raptors, our Siakamless Raptors with Quickly and Barrett become in play. And then if no Kristaps, then I think Al Horford against the Spurs is actually like an option in the 6th.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's that kind of slate, man. I agree with that. Middleton kind of seeing like minutes restriction going wayside too. Like I kind of like Middleton back here. Do we like OG as like leverage off if Jalen doesn't play?
I hadn't really considered that really. It's just because it's like the freaking Rockets. So I'm not like itching to find the next man up if he doesn't play. If I was to elect a next man up in New York with no Brunson, it's gonna be Dante DiVincenzo. But I'm not getting there really today.
No, that's fair. Who is the biggest beneficiary if LeVert can't go? Are you interested in anyone else in that game?
Is Craig Porter Jr. still a thing?
No. Well, no.
Back to the bench.
Yeah, I mean, like he's kind of like if Donovan's not there. Like I would say it's probably Strus, Sam Morril, something like that. But they probably don't get in the player pool. I think probably Strus. But Strus has been hurt too and been out. so he's coming back.
I could probably get talked into some Sam Merrill or Dean Wade.
Yeah.
Like
Dean Wade's like a bridge too far for me, but I could do the Sam Merrill thing. Just because he could get hot from 3 or something like that. Like we saw him break one slate this year already.
Yeah, I mean, if Levert's out and this total stays the same, like those points got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Team Hold suggesting here that Suggs is going to lock up Trey. The Suggs defensive narrative is a real thing right now. I like that shout. Just in general. Yeah, Goga's been nice, man. Yeah, clicking on Pels or Blazers in the 6 never feels good. It's just kind of because we don't know where it's going, right?
Clicking on Pels or Blazers never feels good. Blazers, no. Pels, I can get with the Pels, except my boy Brandon Ingram has been playing like shit. Welcome to the show. No, I like clicking Pelicans, but it's just like, just clicking Zion. But you can maybe do Joe Val against the Hornets, the OG Dusty flow chart still exists.
Yep. It does still exist, right? Yeah, I do not hate that. Let's jump in here and see what happens.
Let's go.
I think this will be like my 4th or 5th one. Didn't do a ton this morning. Battling the elements with Mr. Good Boy out there.
Let me see. I've got 65 in right now, so let's do a refresh here, and I'll see my latest exposures in the $5 because the buzzer beater is just me fucking around.
Okay, if I were to guess right now, you're going to be overweight Paulo. You're going to be overweight Wemby by accident. You're going to be overweight either Butler or Hero. Whichever you had ranked ahead.
So, not overweight Wemby, thankfully.
Okay.
Let's refresh here and do my... sorry, I had to... Jesus Christ. My button clicker keeps throwing me out of the exposures tab. Paolo was my most exposed player at 36% through 45 drafts, which I'm good with. Okay, we're back. Paolo, Jimmy, Zion, Şengün, Van Fleet. So, Jesus, that's going to be so tilting. I don't want that.
No, you don't. Well, you called Van Fleet 50 burger on like a weird ass night. I think this is a big line in the sand here for me. It's Donovan Mitchell with the flow chart with everybody out, and then it's hope and pray you get Tatum back, which never happens. But hey, shout out G for Gumby here. Tagged us in a tweet last night where he was he duped himself twice, and he had a really nice night last night. I think he duped himself twice or 3 times as part of that 27-person train.
I think I saw 3 times.
Wow. Yo, big shouts there.
Yeah,
that's a better night than I've had in a minute. All right, I'm drinking Mike Zakarian Kool-Aid right now. I'm thinking Suggs wraps up Trey. I think we're too low on Bam, or you could twist my arm into Paulo. Who do you prefer?
Bam. Play the ADP game.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's always hard to go to the Heat when Hero, Bam, and Jimmy Buckets are all active. I always like kind of gauge myself to the lesser priced one of the group, just because like the usage like flattens out in a big way. But this does feel like a good Bam spot if, who the hell's going to guard Bam? Thaddeus Young's going to be out there. He's going to foul him 3 fucking times in the first 6 minutes and not come back out.
Yeah, exactly. I need way more Bam. I'm sitting at 20%, but like I have a bullish rank on him too. And I'm with that rank on Doncic as well. I'm at 24% Luka and 5 shares of Donovan Mitchell through 45 drafts. So that's with the flipping of Luka and Spida. So kind of interesting.
Okay. Huh. That is kind of interesting.
Let's do 15.
No Tim Hardaway Jr. Little update there. Thank you, Kendall.
I don't know if that's an update or if that was a question.
Oh, I'm looking at the injury report right now. Give me 1 second here. I guess I could control F, but I would rather scroll and make everybody wait.
You love to scroll.
It's true. I don't see it on the injury report. I see Grant
think,
Williams as probable. I see. It
yeah,
was a question. There you go.
yeah.
As of right now, no. We got Dante Exum out. We got Josh Green out. We got Derek Jones Jr. probable, Grant Williams probable, and Luka questionable. So a Tim Hardaway Jr. you could do worse in the 6th round, especially if Luka sits.
Yeah, I'll just swap to him if I need to.
Okay, here comes that big flat tier that we were talking about, and why I think it's totally viable to push up Jaylen Brown today.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I think if you think that Zinger, White, and Giroux, like out of those like 3, if 2 sit, I'm totally comfortable pushing up Jaylen to like 18. That might have been like a little high, but I just don't love a lot of plays in this range here.
Yeah, I think Julius Randle would be like the only one that I would maybe like be like, yeah, we should probably take Randle over Brown, but if Van Fleet comes back or if Brunson comes back, that definitely changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think about
maybe Anthony Edwards too?
True. I was probably going to say Gobert here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, lockstep. I wasn't really talking about this pick because I thought we were both going to be in lockstep with the Gobert.
Great.
I think there's
great minds.
I think there's multiple outs to Gobert tonight. It's a good spot for centers versus Detroit. We don't know what that Detroit rotation is going to look like. And if you don't get Ant, though I think we do get Ant. Ant is renowned for playing through Q tags. If you don't get him, there's a little bit of out to just like some more usage for the 2 Twin Towers to do some work down low on Detroit.
Yeah, Gobert just seems to feast on these bad teams. So I'm counting on 45 from Gobert tonight, minimum.
Like it. Zion goes after that. Mikal Bridges. Are we buying back into Mikal Bridges after his big game?
Oh my God, man. This is a good spot, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to quit him for so long.
I know. I just let the computers take them for me. I'll never manually click them.
Is it time to think about pushing up a Toronto piece right now, or do you like Claxton, Hero? Jalen Johnson's been playing some nice ball.
I don't really know what's up with the Nets injury report, but if they're banged up, I would say Claxton.
All right, let's take Claxton. Claxton always pops in the models anyways. Played 42 minutes last game. I'm pretty sure it went to overtime.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Gumby taking double Q tags there, trying to get some leverage with some swap equity there. I do really like the Simons Q tag. I'm not going to lie. In the last round here, we talked up a little bit of Hartenstein. We talked up a little bit of RJ Barrett. We talked up a little bit of Scoot, pushing up IQ maybe. Anyone you like here?
Terry Rozier.
Okay, you like Rozier over that whole tier regardless?
I like Rozier. This could very well end up like blowing up in my face, and maybe that's why I shouldn't do IKB stuff in these contests. But I think the Hornets are a little underpriced, but the models do not.
Said no one ever.
They don't agree with it.
Hey man, we were Team Pels for a minute there. We were like, yo, Pels look deep. Pels look nice. Pels could make a run here.
I know.
Nobody on the injury report.
I really thought so too, man.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting is in my little blend that I got going on my sheet is they are a little bullish on these Knicks and these Rockets compared to ADP.
Knicks Rockets. Wonder why.
I wonder if it's just like it's not by like a huge margin, but as far as raw ranks go, Randall is ranked 12th overall in projected points in this blend. and that's an ADP difference of 4.
Okay.
And they love Jalen Brunson.
Interesting.
They've got, if Jalen Brunson plays, they think that he is worthy of a like 2-3 turn pick.
Wow. Okay. My third eye is opening a little bit there, I guess. So getting overweight Knicks today feels like what the models want.
Yeah, like I think I trust the field in that the field doesn't like Knicks and Rockets either. I think is kind of where it's at. It's like I agree with the field, but the field might actually be baking in the negative side of this game. And if you just take these guys at ADP, like maybe that's the move. That's why, dude, I really want to flesh out. And I mean, maybe there isn't really much to say, and it is what it is. But like, I find ADP like so much more interesting than like just the number itself. Like, it's really wild how like 80 like these winners in these contests are not like taking players out of ADP a lot, like when
In
players look
basketball.
in basketball and even in like, think about like the playoff contest last year. This is Giannis, right?
Yep, I agree. I think, Giannis is kind of like a tier above here other than if you had no Luka Q tag, I think you could maybe make a case, but I think it'd still be Giannis Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still go Giannis. But so last year, like for the playoff contests, the Bengals were like really pushed up by the field, really pushed up. But Vegas did not like the Bengals last year, or like, they just didn't think that they had a chance. And market was right there. And there's just a lot of times where I'm like, God, I can't stand this ADP. I don't know why this ADP is where it is. And then like that player smashes.
Jared Allen.
Yeah, it's just like, it's weird. It's weird that like I don't know. My remedy for this is like, just not deviating too hard in my ranks when I'm auto drafting from ADP. Like I just straight up respect these ADP. Do you think there's anything to like ADP versus projection and how these players are ranked at all? Like, is that something that racks your brain like it does mine?
It definitely racks my brain. It's definitely something I would want to deep dive and figure out, especially when it comes to football, just because we've talked so much about the scroll the F down leverage of that 6th round pick relative to ownership. In basketball, I could see it not being as greatly important. Like I'm in lockstep with what you're saying here in terms of basketball, just because of the projectability of it. And there's like this outline. There's this outline. I don't know what the word is, like notion that the projections that are built into this site are better than a lot of other places in which we're utilizing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's the possibility that.
That's something I hadn't like considered.
Because that's what governs initial ADP, right?
Yeah, that's the initial tethering, and then it gets untethered, by drafts after drafts. Yeah, I think we need to that's the next layer of the onion is like, where are these projections coming from?
Yeah, and if we compare them to our own versus blended versus multiple sites, I don't know. Maybe we find out over time that like the sample on NBA is actually I have no idea. Like I'm not trying to throw any sites under the bus or anything like that, or my own shit under the bus either. I'm just saying, if you think that ADP is more efficient over and over again, well, what is the number one governing fact to ADP other than the player pool? Well, it's the projections of the site too, right?
It's a really good point. Yeah, I don't know if I should start incorporating the projection that exists on the site into my blend.
Yeah, right? Like maybe that's I don't know. If we think ADP is as efficient as it has been, like historically, then maybe we should be.
So if you want to see some outliers, Scotty Barnes is a big time outlier right now with a high projection and a big fat 19 ADP.
I was about to take him right here. It's just because the market hasn't caught up to the trade news. Like we're gonna get Point Scotty tonight, right?
Flip the board.
Yeah, we're getting Point Scotty tonight. Point Scotty's new ADP is gonna be up here, and then I think it's still Paulo though.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're just getting the extra ADP change, trying to help the market.
There's a little bit of bro science in it though too, because like when we were projecting point Scotty was largely like Siakam out games and stuff like that. They still had OG, and like OG's like really good to play off ball, but IQ and RJ, like RJ's really good off ball, but like IQ is like on ball guy. So it's kind of like them having Schroeder starting instead of them having Gary Trent Jr. starting with Scotty, from a rotation analogy. So the ball handling won't exclusively run through Scotty, but where Scotty could do hella work is if they flip that rotation and the second rotation, they leave Scotty out and Scotty's point Scotty for the second unit.
Mm-hmm. That's what it would probably take, because I think IQ is running point there, is he not?
Yeah, that's kind of like, we haven't seen this yet because we haven't seen Siakam out, but then IQ in with Scotty.
You're getting torched.
I'm getting torched from what? The chat? These guys don't think I'm right?
I mean, like, like this
dude. Okay, no. Sam brings up an interesting point here. Why would losing Siakam make Scotty play point? It's because Siakam was running point for he was running a ball handling role with the second unit. Like Siakam was like playing a ball handling role here, guys. I'm dead serious. These guys aren't deep in the weeds enough. I'm not gonna lie. They're not down the tunnel enough.
I like Scotty tonight, but man, okay. I didn't know that. I know Point Bam was a thing. I watched Point Bam time and time again. That is some special. That's some special shit. But
all right, we pushed up Scotty too far. People are out.
No, it was smart.
Go back to the ODR. This is a good point. Sam brings up a good point that Scotty's too important defensively without OG. That's pretty sharp, because his role change might have more to do with covering the fact that OG isn't present anymore than it does the addition of IQ.
A low-key underrated factor is like how much of his energy is being expended to be a great defender if he's on like the toughest assignments.
That's a good point too. There you go.
The Kings are kind of saying that about the Kings announcers, that is, and we all know announcers are the ultimate source of unbiased knowledge. But they were saying that about like Keegan Murray. Like Keegan Murray gets the hardest assignments like night in and night out, and that's why he can't always put up these awesome offensive scores like he does sometimes, because he's a little tired.
I like it. All right, let's take Jalen Brunson here because we trust Nick's source that he's playing tonight. We like that.
I think this is Brunson and Jimmy for me.
Yeah, you like Jimmy over like this next bunch?
Man, I don't know. I really think that these Raptors are gonna, maybe not without the extra body just yet, but I can see them playing being a fun team to target for us moving forward. Jalen Duren, I don't know, dude. I don't know that I'm ever going to get to Jalen Duren today.
No, you don't like it versus the Twin Towers?
Like, congrats on breaking 40 for the first time this season. Don't check me on that in his last game. But yeah, to now have to go into Milwaukee and do this stuff.
It's not. It's Minnesota.
I meant
worse.
Minnesota.
It's worse.
I meant Minnesota. Two MI teams.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. But oh god, what the hell happened to my fucking Jesus? I gotta update my projections.
What do you got? Too much Paulo again?
No, I wanted to see what's going on. This goddamn late slate. I just wanted to see where Claxton or Duren was in my ranks, my projections. Yeah, they've got him. They've got him pretty low.
Okay. That I'm looking for. When did they play last? In France?
It has been a minute.
It must have been the France game, right? Versus Cleveland. That was the last time they played.
I think so.
Man, can we talk about the Kings last night and the epic collapse of all collapses? Is that the turning point for the Suns season?
It might be. It actually might be. They're not a bad team, man. Like on paper, they're like a really good team.
Right. Yeah, no, they are. I mean, it's just you have to funnel your offense through Grayson Allen. I mean, you just have to do it.
It's the recipe for success. I mean, clearly we've been saying it.
Like they're losing all damn game by relying on Grayson Allen. What the hell do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, but dude, Grayson's been playing good ball.
He's broken 40 multiple times. The Jalen Turner one.
You can count on one hand.
Oh man. Oh, Adam White's in here with the boys. There he is.
What up?
Adam W 808 taking Anthony. Jalen Duren's fallen like a rock here due to your slander, Nez.
As he should. As he absolutely should. I don't have ETR stuff for why does Stochastic give me the late game for redacted half point PPR basketball scoring, but ETR doesn't. That's fine. I'll make up my own rules.
Oh, it's because it's on the FanDuel slate, but it's not on the DraftKings slate today.
But I'm pulling from FanDuel. I'm pulling FanDuel projections. They don't have nothing.
Oh, yeah. No. I get that. It's just they just didn't look at the slate to know that the two are different yet.
Because no one cares about the other.
Yeah.
Except us to play for another platform.
Yeah. That's my bro science to it. All right. Are we pushing up IQ, and we're doing double point here? Point IQ and point Scotty Barnes together. Jalen Duren falls all the way back to 6. Can we take him here, Nez? Or to 36?
Well, Jeb in the chat is correcting me, and then he says I'm fading him at all costs. So
they're fading him at all costs. Let's prove the haters wrong.
Let's get this cushy little 38 from Jalen Duren. What do you say?
38 points for Jalen Duren, baby. I'm
17 and 14. Let's hit it.
Oh man. Great news videos. Glad you could be here too, my friend. Love it.
I'm gonna check that channel. You got some great news videos on there. I would love to see them.
Love it. Man, Chad's got the inside track here. Levitan's a family friend. Holy smokes.
Lucky.
Wow.
I wish Levitan was my family friend. Imagine having family dinners with the Levitan family and like hearing. I would love to hear what kind of shit Adam says at a family dinner table.
I think he's probably a pretty quiet guy.
I'd get him going.
Just in general? I don't know. Yeah, you'd get him going. All right, Nez, what do you say we travel into? We just fire up a playoff one right now. Do you want to talk about it at all in terms of like rankings and stuff before we click one?
Not a lot to really say as far as rankings go, except that like there are, I guess, like pseudo guardrails, a proxy code in these lobbies as well, where like a lot of teams are being paired together like all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't really have a thought on that necessarily. It's just like the best way that you can build in these are, it's being done a lot. So I don't know how to feel about that.
Okay, let me push you a narrative here. I don't care if I build the same team. I'm speaking esoterically. I'm speaking for the overarching. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
I don't care if I build the same team 25 times in this contest, if I think it's the best team, because every pod is different.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say, to take that one step further, I don't care. This is the mission statement. I don't care if I build the same stack, the same Super Bowl matchup every time, because pods are different and I will have different one-offs to try to advance, I guess, is the little tack on. Like, that's where
that's the caveat.
Yeah, because this is only 1 out of 6 advance, and that's it's fair and it makes sense, but it can be brutal.
Right. Yeah. That is it. I mean, it is brutal. Like, when you start getting down here, okay. So let's talk about a couple of things. It's interesting in this contest that wide receiver feels deep because the tight ends are lumped in with the wide receivers here. For the playoff returns, it feels like the yellow is deeper than the running back at this point in time. That's my thoughts on the matter. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, like right now, like I take Pacheco over Rice with my Mahomes teams every single time, and then I wait for somebody to pass on Rice because the running back pool is thinner. Like you said, people are thirsty for running back. So when you're building stacks, you almost have to go running back first. Let's try to hop in like 2 minutes. Sorry, not to rush, but I do gotta hop on a meeting in 15.
The reason I say that is because for the divisional round, like, contest, I think the inverse is true.
Yeah,
I think wide receiver is like so effing shallow this week.
It is. It's a very wild dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very interesting. All right, let's go ahead, jump in here. Let's go with gauntlet returns. Yeah,
come on, hit a gauntlet up. Quadzilla making a joke, but a legitimate strategy is doing what you were talking about, John, in the OG gauntlet, and it's just bypassing the chalk and getting 2 crazy upset worthy teams, such as Texans and Packers or Texans and Bucks. I'm not joking. Yeah, I mean, dude, that ass. Like,
I'm for it, man. I'm entirely for it.
Those are like that's how you can walk into a Super Bowl. Like, if you want to walk into a Super Bowl, no matter what it is, and be like, I'm fucking taking this down, I don't even have to sweat the lobby. Like, that's how you do it. That is, I like it, 100% how you do it.
The one pushback there, I would say, are Bucks a better back end than Packers, because they're going to be, pass funnel. Baker was cooking last game. Like, I think maybe doing it Houston and Bucks, but the price point's a little bit higher. But yeah, man, I can't push back on that, man. We know any given Sunday with these teams, and like Texans look damn fine last week, even on the defensive side. 2 pick sixes. Like, Stingley's really good. He only plays one side of the field, but like, just in general, like him and Will Anderson, like the defense is legit, man.
I do like the Texans. I just think I think it's funny, well, not funny, but my hypothesis is the only reason the Texans are as expensive as they are is because people are stacking them at the 101. And they're like, oh shit, every AFC team is gone. If I don't build out this Texan stack, I don't have a quarterback for the Super Bowl. So they just push up Nico and Stroud, and then they get Singletary as well. I mean, it just lines up almost like perfect.
Yeah, and when things line up almost perfect, look at last night's 27 team dupe train, right?
Exactly. For me, I agree with you that I think the Bucks are a better stat. Or sorry, let's start.
Are we San Fran here and we just do the Debo Ayuk chalk?
If we go Debo Ayuk, then we need to hope and pray that we get CJ Stroud. There is only one AFC quarterback left.
Just tell me what to do.
Amon-Ra.
Oh, okay.
And then Gibbs or Montgomery.
Okay. I think I prefer Gibbs just for the ceiling.
Yep. And I don't want to announce our next move because we got Chip in here and Crash Rich. But I was going to say, I do like building Bucks instead of Packers because I think, and this isn't obviously a hot take, but I think Bucks have a better chance of beating Detroit than Packers do Niners. You mentioned the matchup is obviously more favorable for the Bucks as well. And then on a personal note, I have so many Lions teams left, so it's like, it's a hedge for me. You know,
Classic
like I
Nez
have like
hedge.
no Bucks teams, but I do
Why
think
win
that
all the
they're live to
money
win.
when you can chop half of it?
Write it on my tombstone.
Oh shit. It's interesting here because the meta associated with these games right now is that CMC should be the 101. Yet all the chat in our Discord is CMC 101 feels bad.
It feels very bad.
Yeah.
It does feel bad because you really have to tell yourself, how do I win?
Dude, we just go Shroud and Nico here, right?
Or hear me out, you build Ravens and Lions, but your call.
I prefer Shroud Nico.
Let's do it.
I mean, you could push quarterback too, but the guy on the end doesn't have a quarterback, and we could do Shroud, David Montgomery. I mean Nico, David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. Dude does have a badge.
Let me think. I'm trying to think of another way because we can't do Bucks. Packers feels bad. Fuck it. Let's do this and see what happens.
Okay.
I think maybe a way to get like a crazy Chip went and took Demont right away.
Bastard.
Interesting.
He needs a running back though. I mean, it's crazy how quickly running back goes. Like,
yeah,
I see Crash Rich do this a lot. Like these type of builds. Like that's a sick team. So that's a sick start.
His is?
I think so. Lamar, Ayuk, Kittle, Hill, and then he's going to get Mark Andrews if Carey doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's got Baltimore's RB1 while the RB2 goes off the board in front.
It feels like the way to play it. See, thank God, because like, what are you doing, Jay Beast? What are you doing, dude? What is that?
Yeah,
what kind of pick is that? You spent $25 to do this? You spent $25 to take your QB2 when you have Brock Purdy in the same conference in round 4.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me your money instead, man. Oh, okay.
Hey, so Max King's back from the NBA hiatus. Welcome back.
Let's go, man. Thanks for being here.
So Mark Andrews goes there with the Baltimore stuff.
So he's going to go OBJ or likely Crash Rich will. He's building out a ton of Ravens, which is like smart. I mean, dude, I would kill for that start. I can't believe that Carey didn't take Kittle.
Yeah. I mean, building out 2 favorites always feels good. Especially when they're on the opposite side of brackets and they're like heavy favorites.
It's going to be weird if they do make the Super Bowl, what the finals will comprise of and what the best team will look like. And can a CMC team win without a QB in a Ravens?
This is a good life lesson here from the Purdy, not Purdy at 2 because nothing comes back kind of thing, because you just get froze out like that. He's just got naked Purdy. I was thinking this was a Singletary team for sure. Yeah, that was like the layup pick.
Yep.
Now the question is, what do we do?
Well, you can start building out Green Bay.
Aaron Jones feels good, man, because like, he's not playing the Lions, so like that feels like fine.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't guarantee you 2 rounds of Aaron Jones, but it's a possibility, and that matters. That'll matter. Yeah, and I was talking. Do you think Green Bay? I think the answer is yes. But you think Green Bay has a chance at upsetting the Niners?
For sure, man.
I mean, if it does, it's probably a big. Aaron Jones is going to be a giant part of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great chance, but like they for sure have a chance. And nothing's definitive. Like we look at spreads and totals and whatever, and it's just like, man, this is football. Like weird shit can happen.
I used to, and sometimes I kind of go back and forth on like how much I let odds and spreads like dictate like what I do. I definitely see people, and I used to get in the trap of like thinking like any spread greater than 5, any money line larger than like -200 or greater than +300, like that was binary. theory, and that was gospel, and that's the way things are going to play out. Like once you separate yourself from that, then that's when like you can start to have, the tail end results that you're looking for.
It's why I said all last week, just build out KC and then build out Houston with it and build out whatever with it, How are we going to land this plane though? Because we can go I think there's probably one obvious pick for us. The thing is, what do we do on the other side of NFC? Because we're basically playing Houston Super Bowl now, right? Because that's where our quarterback is.
Yeah. So hopefully nobody takes Schultz because that would be a dick move.
I was trying not to say it because there's one obvious pick for us, as I alluded to.
Oops.
Sorry,
wait, I got distracted because we got a guest.
Doxing our picks before they happen. Oh, must be Neumy back.
Bam! There he is. What up, Neumy? You came in just in time.
Yeah, the intros I get.
Gotta bounce after this draft.
Well, I figured it was wrapping up. I was figured the wrap it up box was getting hit here pretty soon. So
I don't know, man. John's on a roll. It's a snow day for him. Okay, nice
snow day, John.
Okay.
Wow.
So we got Schultz here. Are we buying into what we saw from Romeo Doubs last week? Like, he fits the build so well, but would you rather have Josh Reynolds?
Josh Reynolds for sure.
Yeah. I mean, is Cleve Raymond on IR?
I don't know, but there's a lot of Packers late that we can get, and the Lions late are not useful. But like, there are Packers next turn that will be available.
Yeah, because like Wicks will still be there, Musgrave will still be there, Kraft will still be there.
Man, what a story it would be if Stroud makes the Super Bowl his rookie season.
Dude, I mean, after breaking like so many records too, like so many efficiency records. Okay, here's a fun one. Is he offensive rookie of the year or is Puka Nacua?
Oh, dude, they have to split it.
I don't know. That's lame, but yeah, I guess.
I mean, I think it's my brain. I mean, I think it should be CJ Stroud, but I think the voters and everything are going to go with Puka. That's just how I see it.
See, I almost think the inverse.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I have no. I feel like it's up in the. I mean, I have no. I my leans on awards just go terrible. So like.
Yeah, I don't know.
But.
I haven't even seen what odds are right now. It's got to be dead even, I would think.
Yeah, you're the odds guy. Surprised you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm an underdog guy now. I play PvP stuff.
If by the odds guy, you mean the guy who guesses spreads and totals every single week and is off by 3 points when we actually look them up, he is the odds guy.
Hey, man, I'm pretty good.
There you go.
Shout out to Max King tossing us a battle royale entry here. He needs some homies in the chat to fill out the NBA way too early dance lobby. We are talking about playoff football that's in the midst right now, and the true sickos are grinding the playoff NBA streets.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
That's the chip bat signal.
That's the chip bat signal. Yeah, that already happened once. That already happened once. It was like need one. All of a sudden, you just see Chips like just joined, like with the saluting face. I'm just like, yep, there you go.
I'm gonna venture to guess Cleve Raymond, as I was about to look it up, is not on IR after we see that most recent pick there.
That guy doesn't know what he's doing, I don't think.
Dontavian Wicks kind of feels like a layup, and then Musgrave, like you just round it out like that.
Yeah,
you could.
Those are the picks.
Yeah, there's no deviation there.
Nope, straight underdogs.
1, 2, 3, 4 Houston. 4 Houston.
3 Houston.
3 Detroit.
Oh, 4. You're right. Sorry, my fault. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like where like I think people fall into build patterns where I think you could tack on like a one-off Trey Palmer or something like that plays like in baseball. I would never fault you because like the points could come from anywhere kind of thing, and you could you want an onslaught stack for the finals like 5 and 5. in football, when we were talking about like the push through stuff last week and whatnot, if I think there's a push through piece that could also give us 5 in a Super Bowl, because Trey Palmer's not terrible as both a push through piece. Like, you're going to project Luke Musgrave and Trey Palmer for what? Basically the same this week in a vacuum. So that gives us one more additional Super Bowl matchup where we can field 5.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I just think that projection wise, he's going to project similar to Wicks and Musgrave, but I like Palmer. I take Palmer when I do Buck stuff. But I think I agree with your overarching point though, that he makes sense as a push through piece. But on this build, I think it made sense to go even further into the Packers play. But I got a dip. So thank you everybody for being here. John, do what you will. Neumy.
Yeah, I was coming.
You know what I want. You know what I want. This bullpen's almost full. You know what I want.
Hold on, let me see here.
Don't know what you're talking to me. I don't know what you're talking to me about, but
bye.
All right, peace, Nezzy.
This is interesting. So he thinks that Khalif Raymond may come back this week. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that was only my second one, and the first one we did was on stream as well. I'm looking at Khalif Raymond right now as like a injured/inactive tag. Okay, not an injured reserve tag. Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe there's something there. Maybe that makes I don't know. Maybe that makes the Josh Reynolds pick slightly worse.
To be honest with you, you're asking the wrong fella. I have done a whopping 4 play, or I think I did 10 playoff bust ball drafts before this in the employee. Haven't done one yet for our little tiny returns one that we got, but yeah, man, all I know is if those are the names we're talking way back when, don't know if I want to get into that. That's tough. I mean, I see these screenshots of basically you take CMC and pray that you can get a quarterback back, or you take whatever and you just hope that you can fill out something when someone doesn't take 4 quarterbacks. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think with the fact that Mark Andrews is practicing this week, and I mean, the narrative for CMC at 101 is the fact that he could be the guy you need this week. He could be the push through piece. He could be live in the Super Bowl, even if you don't get another team there. He's just like the one-off you need. The problem is it funnels you to the exact same builds over and over again. I don't know. Maybe flipping the board and like taking Josh Allen 101 or Mahomes 101 and then forcing the hand of other players is like a better way to build.
My question to you is, like, I've seen people with, I think I've only seen it with Mahomes, like a CMC Mahomes like that. And it's just like, I mean, obviously you need that play to win in order for that to be live in the Super Bowl. But if that's what you need in the Super Bowl and you're trying to fight a team like that without that, like, a CMC team without a quarterback, you're dead in the water. So you also then have to hope for certain scenarios where that one outcome of a Niners Chiefs Super Bowl, because there will be it's been a while, huh? It's been a bit, but you got to like sweat, and maybe that's just already threading a needle itself. So it's just like, who knows? But I mean, I've seen some, especially in like the early lobbies when CD was still there and pushed up there and was slowly moving back. Like you could see in real time, Crutches was posting like the lobbies as they were going through, like you could guess what the score of the Packers Cowboys was, because you could see CD slowly falling and getting there. Oh, he went for the 4th pick. Now all of a sudden he went to the turn. Now he's into the 2nd. Now he's into the late second. Now he's in the 3rd. So like just seeing that in real time, there was combos available where you could probably get like a CMC Mahomes. But I just don't know if that's even worth considering. You know what I mean? Like you already, like, you need certain things, and maybe this week a team does the same thing they do the Cowboys, where they put up the score you need and lose. I mean, we saw it with the Packers and the who was it? Packers and I forget just Cowboys. Who were. With the Packers especially, where it's just like you didn't need, like, it was Dobbs who you needed, and Jaden Reed put up a flat goose egg and all these boys, and like you still had that. So like sometimes even these guys put up, it's not even the stacks carrying them with them, because they're just throwing it to ancillary pieces that weren't even drafted. So
I was just trying to scroll the Discord to see if I could find some of those boards, and I wasn't fast enough to figure it out and find that. That's actually a good point, though, because the contest window's been open so long there that, like, CMC plus falling rocks might exist. I don't know. I think it's going to happen on the other side of the board too, because I think if you get in the right lobbies and you get in kind of like the quote unquote sharper rooms, I think you'll get CMC falling to like 3 or 4, and there'll be like some other combinations that emerge because it's just so hard to build San Francisco otherwise. So I don't know, maybe letting CMC fall is like the new meta.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no, like, and it's just, it's interesting because I mean, you look at the odds and all that, but yeah, it's the Wild West out there, man. Like, we've already seen it. I think some points out there are just like you see all these people talking about the odds and whatnot for Texans and Packers and whatnot, like they're a long shot, but like no one's willing to go out there and like build out these teams. Like, obviously you do it when you're just like stuck and you have no other, you'll build that Jordan Love and that CJ Stroud team, but you're not going out of your way to build that 5-man stack and be like comfortable about it when who knows what happens. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Like,
I think if I was building like low volume entries and stuff, I'd way rather do like the contrarian push up and like just do like Packers at the front end or Texans at the front end or Bucks at the front end, and then tack on, because like so many of these auxiliary pieces that you get from like Baltimore, from the Bills, from the Chiefs, like they're just flat zeros. Like, they're dead ass zeros. And when you're 1 of 6, you're going to be dead anyways if you don't build something nice. So why not just build out a team that could actually smash? Right?
Yeah. I think there's so much to like just different approaches that make sense.
Like, even if you get Latavius Murray like 6 points from him, say he falls in the fucking end zone or something, or say Ty Johnson, they clearly like Ty Johnson more than that. Ty Johnson is now going in these drafts. If Ty Johnson puts up like 7 points, you're not getting out of the first round anyways. Like, you're not getting out of the 1 of 6.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for me. My one thing that I think to just be really interesting this week is what if CMC is just like not even optimal, not even like, what if he just puts what if we just get that mid CMC game? Like, that's still probably going to be the highest RB score when you just look at the RBs available. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a mid CMC games is a lot of these guys ceiling, but like, I don't know, like, just, and I think that with us having the Ravens and 49ers being the first 2 games, like, you know what I mean? Like, those, like, and knowing that right away on Saturday. But like you said, to that Ty Johnson stuff point, like, especially when you get to the Super Bowl, like, just having 6 points, even 4 points as a separator of these guys is, I mean, I don't know if people are looking that far. Like, you say, they say they are, but I mean, some of them aren't. Like, you know what I mean? It's just when you look into that and they're like, why would you draft so-and-so, and you look at that, but yeah, having 6 points as a differentiator of a Ty Johnson, Latavius Murray type. And yeah, obviously the most are like the sickos and the people in our Discord.
Wild. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend of ball. Looking forward to talking through it with Pete tomorrow. Neumy, what's your agenda here? Because I was considering maybe firing one more draft here.
I'm gonna be. I will hop off here for you. I'll let you do that. I literally didn't know. I caught it. I caught you guys like a little late, so I did not know you were going late. And Nez,
we had to
hopping off.
We had to push up the front end there. Chat asking, lit up asking, when 3-man weave? Are we ever going to see the 3-man weave back in the NBA streets, or have we done away with that for the crossover and stuff like that?
Maybe soon. That's all. That's all I'll say. Maybe soon. So, but yeah. Right now we're looking at other things, especially like Nez mentioned too, win dinger soon, along with other things like that. So yeah, it should be fun. So, and as soon as I'll just leave this little fun nugget. As soon as NFL's done, NFL's coming right back. So get ready.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, traditionally speaking, we've seen the kind of like live party at the Super Bowl and then the first draft to follow in years past there. Hope to see something similar there. Chip has one last question for you that I think is a really interesting one. When 4-person drafts for the returns, do you think the contest would have been better with 4-person instead of 6-person here, or do you like the depth of the player pool?
Yep.
What are your thoughts just on that one?
It's definitely being looked into. And same thing with the other stuff. Like it's heard, and we're talking about it. So, yeah, but maybe as soon as next year we could try something out. But yeah, I definitely see the feedback. I definitely see it with it being so thin. So yeah. It's not ruled out at all. Not shooting it down.
Do you like it? Like, do you like the idea of 4, or do you like the fact that these are 6 right now? Like, personally,
I think given just the way that quarterback lines up, it would probably, for the casual drafter and for someone that doesn't know what they're doing, yes, it would be better for, I think 4 would be like the better experience. And that would also give you, like you like to say, when you have smaller drafts and a smaller concentrated pool, it gives the ability to scroll downs to mean something a little bit more versus everyone is scrolling down and fighting between these garbage. So I think it's a give and take. I think we'll see a lot of the community like what we have right now, and then some will agree with 4. So yeah, I think there's definitely room to implement that and try it out, and yeah, not shooting that down, because that's something that yeah, I kind of agree with. It would be fun to test out and see how that plays.
Yeah, like for me yesterday, like the slate was a lot of fun to draft, and I put in some of the most volume I'd done in a minute for a number of reasons, but I really liked the slate just in general. But I think the 3-person would have played really well for NBA yesterday, because then instead of a 27 dupe with Grayson Allen going, Grayson Allen doesn't become like the tack on 24th pick that's just 24 in everyone's projections that's auto drafting. He becomes a scroll down effort in the 3-person lobby as opposed to the 4. So I think some of the shorter slate ones, when we get to like 4 or 3 games, for me personally, I like the smaller lobbies because you introduce more leverage and game theory to them.
Heard. And I definitely, I agree with you there. And I think that's a really sharp point. So yeah, that's stuff. I mean, you guys already know with what we've been offering and giving back to you guys with contest offerings. We hear you, and we implement with what we can and what we got going right now. Yeah, I can't really touch on that. Obviously, no, not right now with the 4, but I'm not ruling it out, and in the future. So, but yeah. And
tech wise, last question. I mean, tech wise, can you offer both?
Well, that's what I mean. Once we can offer 4, I would, we will be able to offer both. But right now, it's not set up for 4. So, and we just have to get that changed. So, yeah.
Love it.
And I see that one last thing that I'll touch on, Max Kings. Yeah. Obviously, this is way earlier. Like we dropped the way too early, like we were trying to do for the way too early NFL, just to give people another taste to draft. So it'll come at the normal time the dance comes, which will probably be around like March, mid-March, something like that. And obviously we're going to, once NFL's done, this will start filling up as well, the way too early dance. And then we'll have to wait for that to get filled up, and we'll get that dance out for you. Got fun things cooked up there as well. So, but yeah, I'll let you get to drafting. Appreciate you letting me hop on and banter with you for a little bit. It's always great. Appreciate it, brother.
Welcome anytime, Neumy. Peace, bro.
Love it, man. All right, peace.
I do not have a solo layout there, so we're gonna go back to the OG BadgeBros one here. Go something like that. Boom, perfect. I'll play dealer's choice right now, but I'm not gonna lie, I got the itch to do a little baseball. If we can fill a baseball one right now, that's what I want to do. It'll take a little bit more time to stream and stuff, but I'll play dealer's choice if people want me to rip some more hoops, or if you want to rip some more playoff stuff. Say so in the chat, or forever hold your peace right now. But I'm about to click this bullpen and see if we can fill one up right now. I have only done a handful of them. We're 71 days away from opening day. I got the itch. All right, I see an MLB vote already in the chat. So the people want MLB. Haven't been doing a ton. 4 spots. If we can fill this 4 spots in the next 4 or 5 minutes here, we'll rip this one. Get in here. It's only $5. Come have some fun. 3 more. Perfect. 2 more. Here we go. Let's fill. Chips in. Chad's in. Love to see it. Can you really call yourself a football guy if you're drafting baseball right now? It's a fair point. Man. I pride myself in being a versatile athlete, a multi-sport athlete on the platform right now. I'm down to play whatever's live, to be honest. I love me some sports, man. All right, let's go. Got some friends and family in here. Let's do it. Only my 3rd draft thus far. I know Stacking Dingers, go check out their channel. They've done a bunch. Go check out stackingdingers.com. A bunch of the early data is up from the Dinger last year. Yeah. And I think a lot of it still supports what our original ideas were, like, 6, 7 pitchers, depending on where you put the capital, and then going infield heavy, but infield being the deepest of the positions, that getting ahead of outfield feels best early, that sort of deal. But yeah, let's have some fun here. Tell some stories and whatnot as we rip. Let's see if I got any tunage. You guys tell me if you guys like or don't like the tunage. I don't know what Nez normally plays here. Let's see. This one says Dallas in it. Here we go. Ooh. Max King, man. Only 25. Life is good, man. Yeah. Quadzilla, I feel this way too, man. I was going to start when pitchers and catchers report. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It's a little heavy in my ears. Yeah, I was going to start when pitchers and catchers report as well, but man, I got a taste of it the other night, and I was like, I just love clicking on baseball players' names. And I forgot how much I loved it until I did it the other night. Ooh, Corbin Carroll at 4, baby. Love to see it. Crazy to think that the Dodgers and the Yankees both have like multiple pieces inside of like the top 12. Just wild. All right, Fernando Tatisco's there. My bro science, without looking at ADP right now, I think this is a Yordan Alvarez spot. Like, that's what I would say. But we got Shohei Ohtani staring us in the face. Ooh, this is a tough call here. I don't know. What do you guys think about Ohtani's elbow? Not going to be able to pitch to start the year. Let's go. Let's stick to our guns. Yordan Alvarez, best hitter in baseball, best left-handed hitter in baseball. Let's go. Anything but baseball. Wow, Ohtani falling all the way to 9. I don't know if that's normal or not, but yeah. Not gonna lie, guys, I don't love this track that Nez has queued up here. Let's see what else we got. Kind of miss the old school, just like little Knight Rider here. This one's not bad, I guess. Strider SP1 at 13 there. I'm gonna get caught with your pants down without an ace. There's some nice aces though. I was looking at this earlier. There's definitely like some aces that are like a little bit back in the ADP that, talked about it last year, that I liked building like teams where you take like your first SP at like 50, but he feels like an arm that can front end your staff that's durable. Someone like Aaron Nola, for instance, and like building out pitcher from round 5 down kind of feels good, and kind of spending like some upper echelon capital at the outfield position, and then hitting pitcher kind of like, round 5, round 6, anchor ace, and then spending like bang, 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 like 2 or 3 picks on it there. Be interested to see what some of the data comes back on that being either good or bad. Jumping out to me, Corey Seager jumps out to me. Vlad jumps out to me, but I think you want to get ahead at outfield, and Kyle Schwarber or Mike Trout. I think Schwarber feels slightly better, which is fucking weird to say. But like the dude just hits 45 bombs and leads off every single day. I mean, he's going to hit under 200, but it doesn't matter when you get on base at like the clip in which he does. Yeah, Matt, we are so back right now, man. We're so back with this. Yeah. Yeah, I love Nola where he's at too. Yeah, it's a good shout. Lit up. Like it. Oh, man. You guys want to hear story time? Talk about a story? This weekend, my body's in shambles right now because I had a big Saturday, I guess it was. We go to a house party on Friday, just, not a house party. We're not 12, but like, just like get together, some drinks, some appies, whatever. And a couple of girls not drinking, including my own. And they were all, because they were doing a run on Saturday morning, or on Sunday. Oh, my day's all mixed up now. Doing the run on Sunday morning. That's when it was. Anyways, so the run was 8K. It's like basically 5 miles. So I'm having some beers. We're playing some games. We're playing like, the classic like catchphrase and all that sort of stuff, right? And I start talking shit as I have a couple wobblies here that like, man, you guys are so soft. Like, what are you training for like a 5 mile run? Like, I could roll out of bed and do that shit tomorrow. Like, just sign me up. So I start thumbing around the internet. It starts getting more serious. They're like, no, you couldn't. No, you whatever. So I keep talking shit. So I start thumbing around the internet, try to register for this race, and it's sold out. Oh, too bad. So now I get away with murder, right? Because I get to talk my shit, but I also don't have to prove it. Anyways, same group of people, or with a little bit of overlap. We go out for dinner on Saturday night, and there's maybe like, 2 of them overlapping, and then maybe like 8 or 9 more. And the story comes up again. John thinks he can do it. John thinks he can just run this. He can run it hungover, he says, blah, blah, blah. So I keep talking a little shit because I know I don't have to prove it, right? Like, I don't have to register for this thing. And it's going to be freaking cold, man. It was going to be like, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, like something like that. Like, it wasn't prime running conditions. And you had to pay to run a route that is literally outside my front door here, where you just like run all the way along the water. It's like where I take the dog every single day. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay money to do that. I can do that any day I want. Anyways, long story short, I keep talking a little shit while we're watching the football games on Saturday night. And a friend of a friend calls and tells one of the girls that, hey, so-and-so's sick. We got an extra number for this run. Does anybody want to do this run? Well, I get called out on my bullshit. I have to slap a number on. I show up at 8:30 or 9 or whatever for the race. Wow, Vlad comes all the way back to us. I'm going to take that, man. I like Vlad, man. I think like the hit tool is real, and the home runs have trended in the wrong direction after they stopped playing in the AAA ballpark in Dunedin/Buffalo. And like, we've talked about the park being so much worse for right-handed power now when they did the remodel last year. But like, man, you want to buy low on a dude like Vlad. He's still young. Anyways, so now I get called out and I got to wear this number and I got to go out and do this run. Anyways, I do it. It was like, I think I did it 42-ish minutes or something like that. And I smoked all their asses. Actually, that's not entirely true. Nikki, my fiance, beat me by about like 30 seconds or something like that. But to be honest, I knew she would. I was talking more shit to everybody else. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Get called out, have to do a snow run, slightly hungover, whatever. And yeah, my body's still paying the price because I still went and played hockey that night, and we're out on the outdoor rink a little bit too. So man, my body's in shambles right now, but made for a good story, and I'm glad I proved myself that way. Pretty good. Oh man, Luis Castillo, Man, Seattle's in a weird way now after that Robbie Ray trade. I don't think Robbie was going to be ready for the start of the season. He only pitched like 2 innings last year before suffering the injury and then was down for the count. But they traded him to the Giants there. Got Mitch Hanigoat, one of my favorite players ever, back. But, man, you want to talk about a guy who hasn't been able to stay healthy. He had that 40 home run season like 3 years ago and then now just can't stay healthy. It's unfortunate. And some freak injuries too, man. Like, ruptured like testicle and stuff like this. Like just weird shit. All right, this is going to be the big question. Can we push pitcher one more round or do we need to lock up an ace here? So Gallen goes there. The board just looks all purple and green in front of us right now. Springer is a really nice, just like stack / slightly mispriced in my mind. The problem is if you get froze out, you end up with like, you know what? Let's do it. We're streaming. We're going to push. We're going to experiment. Let's live dangerously. Let's get a little Toronto stack, little Springer Vlad. Going to hit 1-3 in that lineup. And fill out that outfield stuff. And then let's see if we can sneak an ace back to ourselves at that 5th round position, as I alluded to. Kind of like the way I like to build. Get ahead at outfield right now, and then bang, 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 purple. And see if we can still build a good staff out of that with some quote-unquote mispriced. I will show you guys. So as Nez alluded to earlier, I'm not signed in, but here's the Stacking Dingers page, and they got 6 episodes up. Now, I have yet to appear on one, but I will in the future, and we'll be doing some crossover stuff here and there. Maybe I'll make a little playlist where this stuff just lives on our channel as well, so you guys can see it all. But Tuma and Matthew and Chris and who else am I talking about? They're all been doing this stuff for a minute here, and we'll be involved a little bit more in the future. But the ranks are up here. They did top 100, and then they did an episode associated with it too. Click on that rankings tab. Where was the article itself? I got it open on my phone right now. There we go. Those were the top 100 ones, and then there was a Google Doc. Oh no, that was just Tuma's ones. I'm not doing a good job of navigating for you guys. There was, okay, maybe it's in the episode. Oh yeah, it is in the episode. There we go. Okay. So they put together this nice document here where you guys can, just take a peek at what's going on. I can drop the link in the chat. 1 second here. But all 3 of them did their own rankings. You can see the difference between their rankings and the ADP, and you can see some of their biggest differences between players. Okay. It kind of worked. Not really. I'd rather have Frammer, Nola, something like that. I think we go ahead and take either. I think you could pick any of them. I think I take Logan Webb here, though. He just best ballpark, feels like the most stable when you're building a rotation like this. I want to take the solid, in quotations, innings eater type at the front end, opposed to trying to shoot ceiling on Senga, I think, because we can find some other guys to shoot ceiling with later, whether it be Tyreek Skubal or something like that in this staff. Let's take the innings eater front end horse. I think Logan Webb will probably be behind George Kirby and Senga for most people. We can cross-reference here in the chat. I will put this. There we go. There we go. Who did Chip pick that Sam is getting stoked on? Did I come back to the right board? Okay, sorry. Chip with the Cody Bellinger pick. Was that the nice pick, or was it my guy, the tool shed, Luis Robert? Cannot make me call him Robert. Sanga full fade at all cost. I don't know, man. The ghost splitter is nasty, and they've had some bad history with pitcher injury on the Mets, like just for ages now. But that's changing this year because my boy Jimmy Van Ostrin, who was a coach alongside Toronto for a couple years there, whatever. The Mets have poached him, and he's going to be working for the Mets organization as bench coach this year and doing some a lot of the like mental prep side and like some of the physical stuff, but a lot of them like kind of like, I don't know what his actual title and designation is, but he's got like a 10 years of AAA baseball experience and then psychology master's degree as well. So he like does a lot of like the mental health stuff with the players. So look for Sanga to be strong between the ears this year, boys. There you go. Here's your boots on the ground. Yes, 100%. Dave, we will 100% get Pete in these streets this year. I will not allow it to not happen. That's a bad sentence, but Max Fried feels good. Freddie Peralta feels good. Scooball feels good. Baseball posted some of his exposures earlier. Yeah. Cedric Mullins feels really nice if you don't think he's going to platoon. The problem is, I think he's probably going to platoon. We saw it at the end of last year. They just don't leave him in versus lefties, or they bury him in the lineup versus lefties. Be interested to see here. Let's go back to the ranks here. Be interested to see. Frammer. Oh, they got Logan Webb ahead, so I'm not on an island with that take. They got Freddie Peralta ahead with Max Fried there, but they're all really close. Tyreek, Scooball, all in that 60 to 65 range. So low-key couldn't go wrong in that setting. But if you're looking for like wins and quality starts, doesn't Max Fried just jump off the page comparative to Freddie Peralta? Like Freddie Peralta, I comped him last year as like poor man Spencer Strider, where it's just like he doesn't need the innings volume to put up like a crazy K ratio, but quality starts and wins just play up so huge on this platform. And give me the guy who's pitching for Atlanta over a guy who's pitching for Detroit, Miami, and Milwaukee, right? All right. Here we go. Sam, did you max this? I'd love to know if Sam Olson's already maxed this. I assume, like, man, you guys are sick. I don't know where you guys find all the time. I try my very best, I swear. And you guys are just so sick getting in here. 52% Belly. Still don't know where he's going to end up. There's a lot of good free agents who haven't signed, man. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, why don't the Mariners just take some of that money that they dumped with the Robbie Ray stuff? Like, they didn't dump a ton of money, but if they want to be contenders, I think they were low-key, like, big players for Ohtani, and now they're, like, oh, shit, what do we do kind of deal? But, like, go out there and get, like, bring Blake Snell home. There's my call. Bring him home, Like, he's a Seattle guy outside of the area. Like, bring Blake Snell home and sign Jorge Soler. Or, I don't know. Maybe it's not that easy. Maybe people don't want to come to Seattle. But you got Julio locked up for like 10 years. You're on the precipice of being a meaningful baseball team. You're just a couple pieces away. And I don't know. After they did the Kelnick deal, after they did this stuff, I got excited. And then all of a sudden you just get Haniger back and Luke Raley, and it looks mid as hell. But okay, so Cedric Mullins comes all the way back to us. We could take Royce Lewis for Neumy2's sake. Jorge Soler mixed in there. Joe Ryan feels better than this tier. I mean, I guess Grayson feels really nice. Let's take Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz feels mispriced. I like Yandy. Yandy feels mispriced. You're going to lead off every day for Tampa Bay. I think he was one of the guys that there's a big discrepancy from the Stacking Dingers rank guys who like to, yeah. Belly's a twin, yeah, for sure, man. Ooh, Sam, Max didn't do much NFL playoff stuff. Gotcha, cool. Yeah, man, I like this. I like baseball more than NFL playoff drafting. Like, I love both contests. I love drafting baseball more than I like drafting playoff NFL. But that being said, baseball takes longer to fill and takes longer to draft, so it's hard. I did see a question in the chat here. Yeah, Zeke Matthews, man. If you took Curry in those early drafts, go ahead into the rankings tab. I'll show you right now. Rankings tab, into here, set them as you see fit. Whoever you think the best swap is for him. I mean, you can go ahead and rank it top to bottom, but all these guys are going to be drafted. So, you know, you don't even have to start there. If you want Terry Rozier, maybe start at 30 and rank them down and be like, hey, happens maybe Terry didn't go in a couple drafts. Go ahead and rank him up there, blah, blah, blah. Set your rankings here, click that save tab, and then the swaps will automatically occur. Where'd I go? Active. 4 picks away. There you go. Yeah, and then the swaps will automatically take place at lock. They usually take, 5 to 10 minutes to populate, maybe 10 to 15 to populate, but yeah. NFL playoff would make you blow your brains out. That's good. All right. Let's see here. Are we back in on Carlos Rodon? I think we might be. That Yankees team could win a lot of ball games this year because of that offense. I don't know. How do you neutralize a short porch in right field? You'd probably be a left-handed starter with a fastball that hits at the top of the zone. Feels like a good way to do it. Josh Lowe have an everyday... Oh, man, we're back to the Lowe's Lows. Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Lowe, Brendan Lau. I like any of these pitchers. I'm not going to lie. Maybe Steele more. Keller, Green. Green ceiling's the highest, probably. Sujo Ryan for Neumy. Good park to pitch in. Solid year last year. Everybody talked about how he looked better at the beginning of the year than the back end of the year because of the sweeper stopped sweeping. But, yeah, man, I think you can build out some good teams like this, some good staffs where, like, the meta back in the day was, like, anchor ace, and then, you can lop on at the back end. I kind of like what we're doing here. Get ahead at infield, get ahead at outfield, mix in a couple infielders that I like more than the market, and then, build out some anchor stable aces, like not the gaudy K rates that you look for from like front end ace types, but like just solid workhorse staff. I don't know, probably a 7 pitcher build. 7? Probably 7. But bear with me, man. I haven't been in the streets. Yeah. Here's a good one. Yeah. Tristan, man. Tristan's going to be flying up. I mean, Tuma on his own is going to force him up boards, but he looked good last year. Oh, here we go. Dylan, welcome, man. In the one spot, first ever baseball draft. What's normalish build? How many pitchers, infield, outfielders? I think it depends where you allot your draft capital, but you cannot go wrong with 6-8-6 or 7-7-6. You can get a little funkier with some other build types if you spent up at pitcher or you spent up at outfield, stuff like that. But I think the meta is most of the bats that are like, solid pop bats that are left on the board late are going to be at the infield position. So I think kind of getting ahead outfield and pitcher in the upper echelon tiers and then backfilling out with infield is the standard, call it 0 RB of our baseball game there. So I think normal would kind of be like 7-7-6, and that's assuming you spent up at the outfield position early. So that's kind of where I'm at. There's going to be some really good stuff on stacking dingers in terms of data that has been collected from the dinger last year. See what performed best as, I'll drop that in the chat for you right there. There's some good data in there that, Chris Baseball, our spreadsheet guru, has been doing work on there it'll tell you what's up. Wow. Whole lot of good pitching in this middle tier. Maybe I'm just like way off base with this. Byron Buxton, Vinny Pasquantino. There's a fun one. Wow, Carlos Correa all the way down here. Man, there are some quote-unquote misprices, I guess. I'm gonna take Carlos Rodon, man. I actually think this is a good pick. Like, I think everybody's dodging the falling knife right now. I think this is a good pick. I'd be entirely fine being overweight Carlos Rodon. I know he wasn't the pitcher we were accustomed to seeing when he came back at the end of last year. Strikeout rate was down, fastball velo was down, but like, man, I'll do a little buyback here on a good team there. Buy back into that one. You can see us getting a little squeezed. Like, we spent some good capital in the first 4 picks on outfield here, but you can see us already starting to get a little squeezed at outfield. That Eloy price tag feels nice. I mean, I've always been a sucker for Eloy there, but haven't fully thought through like, some of the emerging teams, like who could be this year's Baltimore Orioles. Like, go ahead and drop one of those in the chat for me, because like, who could be this year's O's? Who could be, a power hitting offense where the pieces are like mispriced right now? Full year Christopher Morel down here feels good. Tyler O'Neill, I'm always going to be overweight chasing that ceiling, especially in that ballpark now. Sal Frelick, interesting. We talked at the end of last year that we thought he would get some steam. Cooled off a little bit on the back end. Huh. It's weird that this time of the year, all pitching looks kind of good. Our tune will change as dinger season approaches, as we see, reports from camp. Some guys are behind, some guys are ahead, some guys are, velo's down. What are we going to do? But like, I'm looking in this range here and I'm like, I'm plenty happy taking Eflin. I'm plenty happy taking like Musgrove here. Musgrave. Football brain. Let's do everybody's favorite hot start boy last year, Lars Nootbaar. Everybody thought he was the big fancy click last year. What's changed? What has changed? All right, this song's getting kind of repetitive now. Let's see what else we got in the queue. This one's called Spring Cleaning. No. Where do we just get feeding the ducks, man? Okay. Did that mess with things there? Why does this look so blown up out of proportion here? I want the end season tool. What are some of the biggest moves this offseason? I mean, like, I've been keeping up, but I haven't been keeping up in the same capacity as usual here. Yeah, I hope so too, Chad. I think our influence, not to toot our own horns or pat ourselves on the back too heavy, but I think our influence could matter this year in terms of filling NBA daily contests, because I think if we show people the overlap between football and baseball, just in terms of the way you draft, people are going to get interested in it. The problem being the way the game is structured right now is it doesn't lend itself to correlation patterns matter too much. Scrolling down matters too much, that it doesn't lend itself to be drafted in the same way in which PGA and NBA are drafted, right? Like the parallels on the site are like PGA and NBA are drafted very similar because they're positionless, they're super flex, you can auto draft them, you can set ranks, you can, do that sort of thing. The correlation patterns in baseball, hockey, and football lend itself more to manual drafting. And though that's a good thing in my opinion in terms of playability, one bad thing associated with that is just the fact that the volume won't be there because you don't have the computer bros just auto drafting and dumping 150 every night into them, upload projections and go. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think there's a happy medium there somewhere where we could get like, 2K a night, or we could get maybe, instead of being 150 max or like 50 max, stuff like that, we could get like, 20 max, but at a $10 price point, or 20 max at a $25 price point. Something like that might be, just better and more interesting. A lot of fun names here. Stanton here, we've kind of built out. We believe in the pop there. Christian Javier strikeout rate, Hunter Brown strikeout rate, guys. Let's go Vinny P. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun and be like, yo, we saw enough in half a year from Vinny P last year that, he's coming back healthy. Let's have a little fun. There's some KC backstack stuff too. Like we can add like MJ Melendez to this, or yeah, we could have a little fun if we go ahead and put that one there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the you don't have to overthink MLB. Like, stack two teams and call it. Yeah, I think what we saw last year was like, I don't know. We don't have the full data. Like, we'll have the data for NFL, but this is my guess. My guess is we saw a lot of the contrarian onslaught stuff win early in the daily BRs. We saw like, 5 onslaught from a Royals team where nobody was touching Royals, and then we saw guys auto drafting for like that structure and just kind of playing all the contrarian stacks of like guys with 30 plus ADPs, and then other people would build the GMs as hand builders intermittently. That was one meta. I think what we saw from Brad was doing work in these streets last year is a lot of 2-2-1, and then the one-off being something that leveraged against a high owned player. So if Yordan Alvarez was like 100% owned, and for whatever reason Alex Bregman was, 40% owned, well, he would build out 2 contrarian stacks and then Bregman as the one-off bat that you need from there, or something like that. I don't know. That's just my like bro science. Don't take me at my word that that's how you win and how you think through. I haven't actually thought about it in a couple months right now, but yeah, that's just kind of my off the cuff initial thought process. Let's go here. Let's see who the boys like in this kind of range here. Oh, Vinny 104. They liked Vinny. They liked my Vinny pick. Shout out to me. Yeah, Rhys Hoskins. Wouldn't Rhys Hoskins look nice at first base for the Mariners this year? Hopefully his knee is back. Well, Cincy pieces there. Oh, didn't like my Lars Nootbaar pick. He's kind of buried down there. And surprised on the Carlos Correa stuff. He looked good in the postseason. I'm not saying like back, but like Varsho. Chris Bryant just went. Chas McCormick might have an everyday role with like Michael Brantley retiring, and it's kind of fun. Valdi, Montgomery, and Brandon Fott looking like, interesting back end arms there. Let's triple down on the Toronto stuff and get a little stack happy here with Dart and Vol Show. You know what? Fuck the stack, boys. Let's just go get my guy, Christopher Morel. For anyone who watched the baseball stuff last year, I played the shit out of Christopher Morel every damn day. He was popping in everything I did. I loved him. Let's get a full year of Christopher Morel putting up 1,300 points. Lourdes Gurriel re-signed. Wow, Nate Eovaldi. We saw some good stuff from Michael King at the end of last year there when he was converted to a starter, pumping gas. Looked nasty. Like talking 10 strikeout games and stuff like that. Be very interested to see him in a good park like that. Seth Lugo's gone from that rotation. They obviously really like him if they brought him in as part of that Soto trade, and they weren't really willing to part with Soto for a while there. Nick Lodolo, awful park, great arm. Like, dude just throws smoke. Brandon Fott, like, just really nice postseason there. Good strikeout upside. Everyone was disrespecting him in those playoff contests. He was just such nice contrarian leverage in some of those series, like against the Dodgers, for instance. Everyone was stacking Dodgers. Lodolo goes there. I think I saw Chris Baseball posted his exposures the other day. I think Nick Lodolo was his highest owned pitcher. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think he was up there. Find it on the other screen here in a second for everybody. Yeah, Nick Lodolo 26%, Brandon Fott 25%, Joe Ryan 24% in his first 100 drafts of this contest. Very interesting. Vinny Pasquantino. Did Junior go yet? I'm thinking about some stacky stacks now. How about like Isak Paredes? Is he gone? Isak? That's a good one. Start throwing ADP out the window here. Get Junior, something like that. Stack a little Tampa Bay stuff. We got 5 in the outfield. Yandy. Let's do Isak Paredes. It's a beautiful thing about baseball is like you can kind of just throw ADP out the window comparative to like, I know we like to say we can do that in football, but like season-long football, like we can't. I think season-long baseball, man, there are just so many guys who are going to project like for the entirety of a season. They're going to project within like, 100-point range as long as they all kind of like stay healthy and whatever. I just think you can go ahead and take guys you like, take stack partners you like, have a little fun like that. It's a great, it's a pleasureful, chilling draft experience. Is there a better last name than Pasquantino? That is interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there's names I like to say better in their totality. Like I love saying Isak Paredes. Like that just sounds dope. I don't know if it's a better name, but that just sounds cool. There goes Ton. Good Canadian boy who can bench press a house. Tyler O'Neill, he's going to be hitting him over that monster this year. Might be time to start thinking about some pitching here too. We talked up a little bit of Michael King there. Lance Lynn, as gross as it sounds, feels safe. Feels safe there. Tristan McKenzie's still hurt. And he just did not pitch last year. Hurt to start it, then, he got me. He got me multiple times last year. Ooh, Josh Naylor just sitting here feels good. I think we could probably push Junior. Trevor Story feels underpriced here. Kerry Bonds, our boy Kerry Bonds. I think we need some pitching, though. Let's go Lance Lynn. Feels like we're kind of building out this boring ass... Like, look at how safe, boring, projectable, quality starts and wins this staff is. There is very little ceiling to this staff, and it's just like guys who are veteran, stay healthy arms. Maybe you could say there's a little bit of ceiling in Max Fried there to outperform his ADP, but like in terms of these guys seem all appropriately priced, and I'm not leveraging a ton here. I think I'm just kind of like, yeah, I like building pitching kind of like this way. I like these boring guys, man. Jimenez. That's interesting. Okay. I mean, he's still young. That trade is aged, I don't know, not amazing, but like aged pretty nice. The Francisco Lindor deal there that saw Ahmed Rosario and Andre Jimenez come to Cleveland there, and then they flipped Rosario. Cleveland's done some interesting stuff. All right. This is going to be a decision point for us if Junior comes back here, because we can do that, or we could go the MJ Melendez stack route. What's your guys' meta been? Sam, what's your meta been in these contests in terms of stacking? Like, we've done a lot of good research and data over the last couple of years. It was always like a don't have to have, but don't need to have, but like to have kind of mantra associated with it. I'm of the thought process that like diminishing returns after 7-ish stacked pieces in totality. I think I cap at like 4 from one team, maybe 3. 3 feels good, but like if I can get 6 stacked pieces in 2s, feels kind of nice, but definitely not like a have to have. Chip getting the snipe in there for the bit equity. I respect it. Christian Encarnacion Strand. Is it coming back? Yes, I'm saying you did some mini stacks, but didn't do any full team stacks. Yeah, that's kind of where my head resides as well. All right. Feels kind of late for Naylor to be sitting there. But I think I might just take MJ Melendez here and shut it down at outfield. Get a little mini stack with Vinny. I think those guys are going to hit like 2-3, 3-4 the majority of the season there. I think MJ Melendez is a good baseball player. Let's do it. Kind of boring baseball player. I mean, maybe he doesn't have like the outlier like Swipes and Homer's ceiling, but like this is a solid baseball player. Let's see what Roster Resource thinks of Kansas City here. Go ahead and take a peek. Yeah, Melendez leading off. They got Vinny at 4. Man, Bobby Witt Jr. with like one of the most underappreciated seasons ever last year. Like just 30 and 49. Him and Julio, 2 of the only players to go 30-40 under the age of 23, 24, something like that ever. I think it was because he probably hadn't turned 23 last year. Oh, 23.6. So he had turned in the middle of the baseball season. So in his 23-year-old season, I can't remember what the stat was exactly, but it was something of that variety. Yeah, like the back end of these draft boards here, like feels good to just like deviate from ADP in like some like large ways because you're kind of dealing with like the same tier of player. We think Alek Manoah bounces back this year. A lot of reports that he was like losing weight. He went down to the training facility, that sort of deal. I'm not going to take him here, but maybe on the way back if he comes back around. But I think I want to shoot the ceiling on one of these arms here, either Mackenzie Gore or Braxton Garrett. Like, I think we just have like the perfect staff right now in terms of like solid projectable innings on conceivably winning baseball teams, maybe fringe-ish baseball teams. We got like the quality starts. We got the inning eaters taken care of. Now let's shoot the moon on one of these ceiling arms. And I think Braxton Garrett a little bit more than Mackenzie Gore for me right at this moment in time, just in terms of like what I saw last year. Like Mackenzie Gore gets dotted on occasion. Yeah, I don't know. Give me Miami. Give me that park. Give me that strikeout rate. Oh, Mackenzie Gore's strikeout rate probably pretty comparable. A little bit higher. Tampa Bay, like, man, letting Glasnow go, they must be pretty confident in the health of some of these arms coming back because their pitching was decimated last year. And, I mean, maybe we should be paying a little more mind to, like, an electric arm like Shane Baz, but let's see here. Let's see who the front-end rotation projection from Roster Resource is. Oh, not great, Bob. I mean, Zach Littell, we saw him come over from... I mean, he had a little bit of success with the Giants in the past. I mean, Todd Bradley could maybe vault up in there. Eflin and Savali just feels... Ryan Pewitt and that deal with the Dodgers there as part of that trade coming back the other way. Your eyes always peak when they acquire pitching, but like, yeah, here you go. Look at the injured guys still, like McClanahan, Rasmussen, and Springs. Like the fact that they haven't, done a ton with pitching kind of gives me hope that maybe they expect one of these arms back this year. I don't know. They're the Rays, man. They always find pitching. Investor Better saying that Garrett's a nice little sleeper pick. I tend to agree, man. Good ceiling one. Yeah, this is good. That Cleveland stack, so projectable. They'll be in there every day. Good way to fill the infield slots. Like, I mean, J-Ram's underpriced right now, too. I know people are probably a little bit down on him, just like in general after last year versus the previous 3, but yeah. What do you guys think? Can we shut it down at 6 pitchers with this staff, or do we need one more ceiling arm there? Let me know in the chat if you guys would shut it down at 6 here. I think it's probably fine to shut down at 6. I think there's like some fun like dart throw arms that are late. I just scrolled past one of them in Seth Lugo there. Kind of fun. Probably done at outfield. Damn, Jeremy Pena goes there. He was going to be my cheeky backdoor stack with Jordan. Thought that one would get under the radar. I got a pick here though. How about we and this is like kind of playing into the thesis here where we did this why you take outfield early, because you see the names that are kind of like falling around here. We're kind of gross and guessing on playing time. I mean, Frelick definitely has a ceiling, but like the pop probably won't be there, and pop is just like such a huge part of this site. Give me Nolan Gorman here, because like the infielders that go late are going to project so much better than the majority of the outfielders that go late here. And like, let's get a little stack here with Lars Nootbaar. Give me a guy who's going to hit 30 home runs this year. Still young. ABs feel safer this year. Let's see where my Dinger Bros got my guy Nolan Gorman ranked. Oh, let's use the Control F. He's not even on the sheet. No, that can't be right. Did I spell it wrong? How could I spell Gorman wrong? I'm not an idiot, am I? Yeah, there we go. Nolan Gorman. Yeah, kind of right in that range there. But like here, you get Ryan McMahon, hitting in Colorado. Andrew Vaughn, once highly touted prospect. Mountcastle, like they moved the fences, which is like bad for righties in that park. But like, Mountcastle broke some slates last year. He's got some big pop. Jake Berger could hit 30. There's just like all sorts of guys in this range that at the infield position look so much better than at the outfield position. Like Andrew Benintendi, no thanks. Like poor man's Brandon Nimmo with like zero pop. Like it just plays bad on the platform. Like if Andrew Benintendi was an infielder, he never gets drafted. I don't want to say never, because you probably hit leadoff, but like, I mean, I wouldn't be touching him. Well, Alvi Marte, that's a fun click. Jason Dominguez, low-key blocked now, though. I don't know. The Soto deal kind of just... Where's he going to play? I think he's probably still a year away. Brandon Lau feels... That's... Ooh. Don't tease me with this Brandon Lau pick here. Get a little stack equity there, too. But man, you just check this range of infielder versus outfield. I wonder where Matt Chapman lands. I noticed on Chris's stuff, baseball, he had Matt Chapman was 18%. So I don't know if he can't turn off his rose-colored Blue Jays glasses or not for Matt Chapman. But I always thought Matt Chapman had like... I thought he had Silver Slugger upside. I'm not going to lie, at one point. Like, I thought he could go the Josh Donaldson route where it's like, premium glove to start. And then, I mean, Donaldson's glove was never on the level that Chapman's glove is on. Like, Chapman is, 1A, 1B at third base with, Cabrian Hayes and Nolan Arenado, like, quote unquote, gold standard Nolan Arenado. But, like, I always thought the bat was coming. Like I thought it was coming, and it just hasn't. I love Jake Berger. Everybody knows that. Who's ever watched this ever before? Plays well for the scoring system. Does he get an everyday job? Did Miami trade for him for a reason? His defense is so effing bad. Let's take Mountcastle. Feels safer. I know I put the condom on there, but feels safer. 34 home runs last year. I mean, in theory, a guy who hits 34 home runs shouldn't be worried about playing time. But, like, the thing is, his defense is bad. He doesn't hit for average. He's good for the scoring system, though. You could do, like, a cheeky, like, Josh Bell plus, like, Jake Berger backstack here. See what roster resource has him hitting fourth. Yeah, hitting fourth. Man, there's a lot of pop in this lineup. No Soler anymore. Maybe they bring him back. Who knows? Reyes gets on base at a godly clip, and then you just have like Josh Bell, Josh Chisholm, Jake Berger. Interested to see what Josh Chisholm could do in a full healthy year. Like he's just like, I got the comp. Jazz Chisholm, LaMelo Ball. That's the comp. That's the perfect comp. Swaggy as hell, fun fantasy point per minute producers when they're out there, fast as fuck. You know, puts up stats, but like, can you win with him? Can he stay healthy? Washam and I are free. Yeah, interesting. Matt saying always shut down at 6 for the pitcher. I respect it. Should have shut it down at 4, Blake says. Any call-ups we should be really aware of? Let me think for a second. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I will figure that out for you. Yes. The answer is always yes. But like, man, I got a million unread messages here. I'm sorry for anyone who's messaged me on Discord in the last couple of days. Yeah, Jackson Holiday could debut this year. The Pittsburgh left-handed pitcher that started the year, Paul Skeens? I don't know how to say his name. He was drafted first overall last year. Oh, Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz for the Nationals. That's a big one. Kobe Mayo, maybe, for Baltimore again. Drew Thorpe for San Diego, starting pitcher. Carson Williams, Tampa Bay. That's pretty deep, though. Tommy Edmonds, boring, safe, stacks. What do you guys think? Sorry, I was looking over here. I probably could have had a better pick than Tommy Edmonds here, but Tommy Edmonds. I mean, this is a floor team if I've ever seen a floor team. It's like Nez. Oh, Pete Crow Armstrong. Saw a bit of him last year. Good Canadian boy. Could have the everyday center field job if they move on from Cody Bellinger, as it looks like they're moving on from Cody Bellinger. That's a fun one. He can run, man. He can run. Heston, we saw him last year for a bit. Guy to watch on opening day. Or not, for opening day, rather. Man, Estrada. Dude, this guy, like, just 1,000 points in the bag. Such good splits. Imagine if he played every single day. Just a model of consistency, just sitting down here. Always hits at the top of the order. Man, there's just so many good players in baseball that it's just so fun to scroll. I mean, Sal fits our stack stuff right now. I mean, we're 3 years removed from him having 50 home runs. 48. I lied. But interesting to see where Tim Anderson lands, if he lands. Luke Raley, man. What if he plays every day? Bad park for him, but like, you know, he's got 30 home run upside, and he's buried down here. Jason Dominguez, I talked about him earlier, but he might be blocked. But yeah, he's one. Jordan Lawler, there's another one. Jordan Lawler could be a big deal this year. The problem is they just brought in Eugenio Suarez, and like the timeline of the Diamondbacks is pushed up like so fast by going to the World Series last year. Like everybody thought, like, hey man, they're 2 years away from being 2 years away, and you'll wait till Jordan Lawler comes. And now they've kind of like low key blocked him with Eugenio Suarez, but like he's the type of prospect where it's just like he's gonna bolster his way onto a roster if he's able to. This feels like 8 infielders to me, just because like we kind of have like an anchor one in the 3rd round, and then everything else was scatter shots, and I kind of want my flex scoring to come from the infield position when we spent the outfield capital on 3 guys in the first 4 picks here. You can look at it 2 ways though. I think 6-7-7 is probably safer. I think 686 is fine because we spent 3 picks at outfield early. I think the chat's right though at capping at 6 pitchers. We got 5 horses. We're talking like workhorse guys, quality start, machines. And then we got Braxton Garrett as like the shoot the moon back end guy. Hope he's Blake Snell light from like the backside there. So yeah. I kind of went down this this rabbit hole here. How the F do you say his last name? Chanul, something like that. He led off last year. The Angels did some really weird stuff with their prospects last year. They did a lot of weird stuff. The trades at the deadline were weird. We're on the clock. This is gonna be my last stack piece. I mean, give me 40 home run upside in the last round here. He might platoon second base. We will see. They are the Rays for a reason, but if he could stay healthy, I mean, like, we're talking about like an unhealthy season for him last year. Still put up 900 points. Yeah. Not much more to say there on Brendan Lau. Yeah, looking through some other names here. Man, Jose Siri, like low key, if he plays center field every single day, like now, like Luke Raley's gone, might clear up a little more playing time for him there. I don't know what's going to happen with Manuel Margot. Like Jose Siri hit 30 something tanks last year. Oh, 25 tanks, but it was down home run year. At one point, he was like 5th in the AL in home runs or like home runs per plate appearance, something like that. Man, baseball's just, I got the itch again, man. There are some fun names back here. Admittedly, I do not know a ton about Michael Busch. I will admit that. I don't know a ton about Michael Busch. I got to do a little research on that one there. I think for the most part, we kind of covered some of the player pool additions for the Dinger and some of the, yeah. Wow, Gabriel Moreno, like, man, you saw him hit absolute tanks in the postseason last year. It's like, it's hard to draft catchers, I guess, because of the playing time. Like, you instantly take off like 150 ABs, but if there's a guy who's going to play every single day and has like a plus hit tool, holy. Jonathan Aranda, we saw him for a bit last year. Could be finding his way into everyday second base rotation there at the expense of Brandon Lau. Yeah. Zach Nato. Okay, sorry. I got derailed with the Angels point. The Angels did some weird shit, whether they were just trying to push the pace or not. Yeah, there's my third one there. Let's see. Bring that back up there. Yeah, whether they were just trying to like push the pace or not on like their rebuild and like give Ohtani and Trout an opportunity at making the postseason is kind of crazy. But yeah, they called these guys up like straight from Double-A, and then they were just like getting big league at bats and leading off him and Zach Nato. So I don't know how much you want to invest in the Angels, but yeah, Sean Manaea being free, very interesting. He was used so strange last year though, because he was like he was times like, yeah, it was very strange there, but like some big names back here, like Kenta Maeda's back here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we see Kershaw or Woodruff this year, but we're more likely to see Kershaw, I believe. Yeah, fun stuff. We'll do a full deep dive when the Dinger drops and that sort of stuff. I was lost just picking guys. No, it's not a donation, man. The beautiful thing about baseball is like you're gonna be live. Like this team, what do you got? Alec Boehm back here. You got Ty France. Ty France has been putting in some work at Driveline. I was watching some videos of his swing the other day. Could be a bounce back. Nah, man, you're live as hell. Everyone's live in baseball. That's the beauty of it. All right, this might have been one of the longest streams ever. Marathon one. Okay, last one. Johnny Baseball, what do you got for me? That's in Glen Golf Academy, Vancouver Island. Went to the academy for 6 weeks in my junior year. Interesting. Yeah, man, there's some beautiful golf that is on Vancouver Island, but I've never been to the academy there. Yeah, ripping a PGA basketball. We will do that. Some irons in the fire. We got stuff coming, guys. Don't worry. We got some announcements coming, and we will definitely get to the PGA stuff. But I've been live now for almost 3 hours, and I still want to get some hoop stuff in. And I haven't even followed up on the injury report there to see what's going on. But yeah, best of luck to everybody in the hoop streets today. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit the subscribe, notification. If you've hung out this long, you clearly like it, so just go ahead and hit that thumbs up, please and thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. Best of luck today in the streets, and we'll be back tomorrow 12 p.m. Eastern for Off and On the Clock with Pete, and we will do the full deep dive on the Battle Royale for football. So on behalf of Nez, who was here, Neumy, who popped by, and myself, aka John Rotorun, where's the button, everybody's favorite talent show, the end. Peace. Love you guys.